we got all this stuff going here, I think. Yeah, we do. We're good. All right, you all, sit back, relax. It's core time, and it begins in 3, 2, 1. Core! Hello, everybody. Welcome to Core. This is the only podcast to win the Triple Crown between 1974 and 1976. Did you guys know that?
I didn't.
No, it was before we were on the show.
They must have, they must have forgotten there were two other hosts on the show.
Even the stats forget.
Damn, within 2 seconds of the show start, we already got an entry on my meme bingo card.
Right? Let's get those memes going. We like the core memes. Speaking of memes, not really memes, but excitement, let's say. I have no transition for this, but later in the show, we're going to be giving away that promised heroic edition of The War Within from World of Warcraft. Thanks to Tanner once again for that. He's donating it. The heroic edition is no joke. You get like rad stuff, plus I think early access before anyone else plays it, sort of stuff. And if you applied for that and did it, we picked a winner. We know the name, but I'm not telling you till the end of the show. You have to stick around. All right.
So you either listen or fast forward 3 hours on your podcast listening device.
That's right.
No, don't fast forward, guys. Just find the suspense is the best part.
It is the best part. I agree with you. Also,
the anticipation, the seduction.
We should drop hints through the entire show, like a fun riddle.
Okay, I'm down.
And then, like at the end, if they've been following along, they know early that they won.
Like the heroic edition, they get early access to them winning. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, a quick note that if you are a gamer and you're interested in big size gaming mats, like the kind you use for tabletop games or your mouse and keyboard, it doesn't matter. You can just use these big, nice neoprene pads for your next Magic the Gathering hangout or whatever. I did put up in the store these 24-inch by 14-inch Blue Prophecy limited edition game mats. They're currently in pre-order, but we're gonna hit the wall pretty soon. So you're gonna want to get these. You can see the old one that it's based on. I redrew the whole thing from scratch and made it large. Yeah.
An intro.
Oh, so it's remastered.
It's exactly.
Look at that. You remastered your art, Scott.
I did. I've never done that. I've never actually done that before. It's a good point. I don't even know how to feel. I've never done it. But now that you say it,
I like the lighting on the shell.
Yeah, I do too. And I also like the excessive blood. If you look at the old one,
what was the blood content on the old one?
The blood quotient, hold on, I gotta pull this up so it'll show up. Here we go. The blood quotient on the old one was a little less severe, a little less dark. It's a little smattering. It's fine. But look at this.
A little bit got on the wings on the old version.
Yeah.
Not
sloppy, you know.
Yeah.
But this winged beast is serious. Lots of blood, lots of kills, and a little bit of smattering up on the horns there, or on the spikes. Anyway, it was super fun to make, and I want people to get their own. So grab it while it's available. Go to frogpants.shop and grab it. Yes,
looks like an armor upgrade too.
Oh yeah, big time. This is like +2 to I don't know what. But never forget, blue shell sucks ass, and that's why this exists. Anyway, that's that. Let's get into stuff. It's time to talk about what we played this week, because that's how we're starting out.
No, I thought we were going to a new stuff segment of the show.
Hey,
hello, everybody, and welcome to the stuff section.
What would we call the stuff section? Just like core?
We call it the pre-show.
Core stuff. Well, stuffed core. No, that doesn't work either. I don't know what you call it. Here's what you call it: our week in gaming. How about that?
Did we make it a week without any layoffs? That's why
it feels like. Well, hold on now.
We didn't. We have a layoff story in the news today.
Okay.
What was the one? Wait. Oh, right.
Destiny. Bungie was the big one. Here, let me show you my cars. By the way, you're fired. You know.
Yeah, I forgot we did that last week. I was thinking Bungie was still in the news, but yeah, that was last week. And John's right. We have one. It's a little different part of the industry, we'll say, but layoffs nonetheless.
Yeah, and that we might be missing studios. There's a lot that don't break the news like Bungie did. So
yeah. Bums me out is what it does. Also been a lot of new games this week that I care about, like brand new SteamWorld Heist 2 came out.
Yeah, I bought that, but I haven't played it. I haven't played the first one yet either.
Oh, they're so good. Such great. Well, the first game was amazing. I hope the second one is good. I haven't read reviews, so I don't know. And then what was the other thing that hit this week that I was super excited about? Oh no, it's next week. You all get your hands on Shapes with a Z. Okay.
Shapes with a Z.
Yeah, but Scott doesn't have to worry about that.
No, because I got it early because they thought it was only one guy on the show, so they got me one. Anyway, hey, Scott and Beau are in World of Warcraft. Apparently, I didn't see Beau in there, but you have apparently been playing in retail, getting ready for the expansion.
Probably on a peer offline. Oopsies.
No, it's totally fine. I mean, I'm in there just I'm getting business done.
I set it on one day and then I forget it's on. Even though it reminds me, it's like, do you want to peer offline? I'm like, yeah, of course I do, and I don't think about it.
Yeah. But are you? So give me your impression, because obviously you had to hit the new the current expansion, do all the initiatory stuff.
Right in.
Yeah.
How was the transition from classic to retail?
Well, that's been like a major facet of this, right? Which is like, I've had a sub for almost a year now, but it's all been classic. Every time I dip my toe in, I'm like, oh, the graphics look so much better. Ugh. And look at all these menus and convenience items. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, I'm just having a laugh about it, but it's like, it is kind of a difference, right? Like, it feels not right when you're playing one version. I imagine you play a lot of retail and you go to classic, you might also feel like, oh,
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn diesel engine and manual transmission. It's like, so it was always a little too jarring for me to settle in, and I was always a little bit worried that I wasn't going to play it because I'm just so stuck on classic. But I decided there's a lot of hype coming with the War Within. Apparently there's no more room for me in the guild, the core guild we have going.
We're gonna fix that. I don't know why that's happening.
I.e., we're gonna kick someone out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we might need to make a rule where, like, you don't get to plant all your alts in, because our sod guild, everyone's like, I want to make an alt, and everyone has like 9 alts, and they're all in the guild. Well, maybe like people can just keep their mains in while we need to make more room, please.
Sure.
If that's but anyways, so I was like, I need to, like, every time I log in to retail, it's like, do you want to do a gear update? And I'm like, I guess so. So I think I've done like 5 gear updates on my character.
Yeah.
So my inventory is just like full, my mailbox is full, and like every time I go on, I'm like, I don't want to do this right now, and I never end up playing because it's so overwhelming. I got tons of shit in my inventory. So I finally said, look, this is a work day. People are excited for the War Within. You're excited for the War Within, but you need to get in there and just do some chores, some Warcraft chores.
Yeah.
So when I say like expansion prep, part of that is just getting used to how good things look, getting used to how convenient the quests are, the fact that I can fly everywhere in 2 seconds.
Oh, that's right, because they give you the fly stuff right up front now, right? You don't have to.
Well, I mean, I have characters; they already have flying. I didn't. Yeah, they unlock everything with dragon flying. Like, I had to go and do something to unlock it.
Yeah, it's a lot faster. I don't have to level
it up. I have all the, like, I'm fully leveled in dragon flying. Like, I have all the bells and whistles right off the jump.
Right.
But just stuff like that. So like, I spent maybe like 2 hours. It isn't even just like inventory. It's like, I last played in Legion and I have this item. Is it valuable and should I keep it or should I just vend? Like, what is this? Like whether it's like freaking archaeological dig site crap that, like maybe you did some what do they call it? Excavating? Like,
excavation. Yeah, that's right.
That the profession archaeology, I guess. Like, I had a bunch of that stuff, but I couldn't tell if this was valuable resource or just stuff I could vendor and don't care about, like dire mall pebbles or something like that you could assemble into an artifact, that stuff, right?
Right.
So it's just like, what is this, and what is that, and what is this, and what's the good item level now? I don't know. I had this Heart of Azeroth thing. I'm like, I think that was important, right?
It was at one point.
I'm like,
I mean, nobody liked it at the time.
I'm like, should I delete the Heart of Azeroth or should I hold on? I don't even know. Is that 3 expansions ago? I'm like, what? I have my legendary weapons from Legion.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how to delete these, but they're like item level 50. That sound like garbage, but I don't have a transmog for them, I don't think. Like,
well, the nice thing is if you've soulbound anything, or you see something in your bag that says you haven't collected this appearance yet, and even if it's for a whole other kind of class, just equip anything that says that and then sell everything, because all they're worth are their transmog, and you can get all the transmog by doing that. I mean, most of it you'll have anyway, but like the Heart of Azeroth, you can just chuck. It doesn't do anything.
I mean, okay, I can just try. I didn't know I held on to it. Actually, I equipped it because I didn't have a better necklace yet.
Sure.
I'm still got to get one. But yes, I can't tell what's a good item, what's a bad item, stuff like that. So I'm like, I sorted my stuff out to the point where my bags are fairly empty and I feel like fresh. And, the game's like when you log in, the game's like, here's a quest. I'm like, what's the context? I don't understand. Like, because now it used to be in classic WoW, you have to walk up to an NPC and they give you a quest. But in today's world, you just log in. It's like, bing, you want to do a quest? Bing. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't understand the context. I haven't been playing. What is going on? So I slowly worked my way through all the like side quests and stuff in there. I guess I unlocked all my Alliance allied races.
Yes.
I'm on my dwarf right now.
Okay.
I did a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I went to Kultiris and helped build a boat, and I went to Mechagon and helped resurrect Mechatork. Did he die or something? I don't know the context. It's just like here's an egg with Mechatork in it. Can you get me some gears, please? And I'm like, okay. And can you get me some batteries? It's like, sure. And then he's alive. And I got an allied race, and I'm like, I don't understand the context, but all right, that's great.
Sure.
So I did a bunch of that. And, as I've played more and more, I got more and more used to it, got back on the horse, and now I feel comfortable playing in retail.
Oh, good.
So I'm ready. So I've done a bit of Dragonflight questing.
Mm-hmm.
I got up to the Alex Straza house.
Up top
column.
Yeah, the big tower up there.
And I gotta take care of her eggs and stuff. I was like, it was okay. I was like, I wanted to get to the action. I got a little bored of it. It's like, here's some new dragon trainers, and I'm like, where's the bad guys?
Yeah.
But it was a good time. I enjoyed it. And then I got my dragon flying. Yeah, you're showing the precipice right now where you learn that stuff, right?
Yeah. And one key component here I was going to mention is when you get into the game now, and this has been true this whole expansion, and then a big chunk of the previous. It was a final patch that added it, I think. But anyway, the main campaign quests are that certain kind of like shield looking thing above people's heads.
Yeah, there's an MSQ that you sort of follow.
Yeah, so now you can follow that entirely, and you never have to do a side quest if you never want to. I mean, there's a bunch, but you never have to do them really.
Although I have heard that's not going to be true in the War Within.
Oh, well, maybe they're changing that.
Like, information has leaked that says you will not get max level if you just do MSQ, unless they change that again. But it's definitely something I read while I was I still follow enough WoW people that I get this information without trying.
Yeah,
leveling's currently hilarious because I did nothing but basically the Radiant Echoes.
Yeah.
There's the whole pre-patch.
Yeah,
I did pre-patch stuff, and I did my allied races, and I think I was level 68 when I started Dragonflight, and by the time I got to Alex Straza's house, I was level 70. So I was like,
her house,
well, whatever, her building.
No, I like it. I like house.
Her egg hole, like whatever you want to call it, where she lays all the eggs.
Yeah.
But or somebody does, maybe it's not.
I don't know if it's her, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's her. I'm sorry. I don't want to make anyone mad. I wasn't paying that much attention. Not gonna lie, not a great start to the expansion. I found for me. I was a little bored by all of it. But I think I'm ready. Like War Within launches, I'm good to go. I'm ready to go within and make war.
You're gonna make some War Within. Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
Warcraft Within really is what it is at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I've been doing things in there that are similar preparatory things, although I've seen everything you've seen, so it's just a different kind of preparation. But I missed about 70% of the dungeons in this expansion just because I wasn't much of, I hated waiting around as a DPS anyway. It's always been the thing I've always hated. I hate that. And I also don't like randos, and I think we talked last week about how these follower dungeons kind of chilled me out. And the follow-up on that is they really do that. Like, they're great for not only seeing the content and knowing what you're in for, so next time you do go in there with people, you're more prepared for what's being thrown at you, and you just have a better idea of layouts, and you actually get to consume the story and understand what's going on in there. So when you go ripping through with randos, it's less intimidating. And sure enough, I ended up solo tanking. Solo tanking. That was the tank in every dungeon the game has at this level. and scored just a ton of gear that won't matter soon, but is great for transmog. I'm looking like a complete badass with this pally right now. And that's mostly what I did things that in the 20-year history of this game, I was intimidated to do, which is hilarious that it took me this long. But I get it now, and I can tank well, and people don't complain and rage quit and or try to kick me. And we finish content, and no one dies, and the healers are, doing what they're supposed to do, and it works. So those are just heroics. I'm not, I haven't done anything crazy with mythics or anything, which would be with people anyway. As far as I know, you can't do mythics random like LFG mythics. I don't think you can. Maybe.
My memory's from Legion, so
yeah.
I think in Legion you had to be a pre-made.
I'm pretty sure it's pre-made still, but that's just because I haven't done it. But anyway, I did this. Oh, I did spend one evening. I just got a wild hair up my butt, and I went, I'm missing a ton of really cool Pandaria transmog sets that are so cool, and I just never got them. Mm-hmm. So I took that same tank and went to all those old dungeons and raids and cleared them all out single, just, one shot everything, and ended up with so much cool transmog just from an evening of doing that. So that was fun. I really enjoyed it because some of that stuff I'd never even seen. I didn't do all that content. I did the raids, but I never did the dungeons during that run, except for that beer one, the Panda Beer Dungeon. I forgot the name of it. Brew House.
I know what you're talking about. I've done that. That's pretty cool, actually.
Some kind of brewery or whatever it was.
Like the Storm Stout Brewery or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. And that one's cool, but there was a lot in there that I just never saw. And so it was really fun doing that. Even though I'm just one-shotting and screwing around, I got a ton of really great transmog. And then I went and did a bunch of the event stuff. I took down Cindergrosa again, Lich King again, and who was the other boss?
Oh, you did the Lich King raid?
Yeah, it was fun.
ICC?
Yeah. No. Sorry, this is for the new the
Radiant Echoes.
Radiant Echoes thing. Yeah. So I did that. Their timing on that is way better. The farming is better. All that stuff's better. I didn't spend a ton of time in there because I don't know. I had other things to do, so I did all this other stuff. But the funnest part was just, I don't know, getting my head around tanking, and I didn't expect to have that happen to me. So,
are you going to main tank our raids and War Within?
I might. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'll do it.
Tanking and sod.
I need another tank most of the time because it's usually double tanks in, raids. But I would love that.
Oh yeah, it's a little more complicated.
You're handing off stuff and doing all that stacks crap and all that. But I feel like I'm ready for it, or at least ready to try it. So, we'll see what happens. Cool. But anyway, what else have I been doing in there? That's it really. And then, I keep seeing that looming timer on the rewind for Pandaria. It's just ticking down, and I feel like I'm just never going to get there in time, even though people tell me you can level to 70 in like 2 hours. I'm like, I don't want to do some weird guide and just do exactly what it tells me to do so that I can, make this mage 70. I already have a level 60 mage. What's the point of this? So I didn't do that. I didn't finish that, but I will say what I've done in that rewind stuff is very fun. It's really unique what they're doing with that. They're taking their game and saying, what if we did a weird thing? And it's a little like what they've done with Classic. There's pure Classic, but then there's Season of Discovery, and it's weird, right? It's different and funky. That's kind of how this other one is for retail.
XP boosting in that too.
Yeah, big time.
We had a lot of alts like just to fill out raid rosters.
Yeah. So it's that kind of thing for retail. I think that's smart of them to do that because there's a certain subset of the player base, myself included, that I don't care for. I just don't want to go play Classic. I just don't care about it. But I like these ideas, and the Pandaria Rewind is basically that. Oh, and I went
a big success. Like, people loved Remix.
Yeah, it's super good. I think they'll probably keep doing it. But it reminds me, I did end up doing I don't know why I didn't do it, but when the Take Back Gilneas thing opened a few months ago or whenever it was.
Oh, Gilneas Reclamation? Is that new?
Yeah.
That was something I did.
Oh, yeah?
I'm like, was this something I missed 4 years ago? What's the context? All of a sudden I'm fighting with
Greymane.
Greymane and daughter Greymane, whatever her name, Edna Greymane, whatever her name is.
Junior.
I'm like, what do we do? I thought we took this back like 10 years ago. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was still the Scarlet Crusade was running the city, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, I don't have deep lore on this, but the Scarlet people are all over the place. And the hard part,
we reclaimed that years ago.
The hard part about it is everyone there's an elite, and if you're soloing it, it's fine. It just took a lot longer than I wanted.
You didn't have doesn't Vivian? Voss,
yeah, Vivian Voss comes out. She'll do her little magic once in a while, but there's like a 20-second timer on that thing. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, well. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it.
Wait, it's not Vivian Voss. It's Lillian.
It's Lillian Voss. Not Vivian Voss, but close.
Vivian Voss.
I'm partially excited about playing WoW again because
what class were you?
I love these names. That was I played the prop pally again in there.
Oh yeah, you were playing a tank. Okay, I was playing my Fury Warrior. Everything. I mean, I don't know how it's going to be in the expansion Fury Warrior. Everything melts so hard. And they're all just buttons that do kind of the same thing. Do you want spinny damage? Do you want swingy damage? Do you want a damage that yells? Or do you want a damage that also spins more? It's just like this. That's the difference between classic and WoW. Not to make a classic and retail, not to make a big thing out of it, but it feels like the buttons have mechanics in classic, and at least for Fury Warrior, everything's just like damage, spinny damage, yelling damage.
Yeah,
this damage. Do you want extra damage? And anyways.
Well, they've definitely leaned into. I mean, I think I like this overall, but they've leaned into what is the funnest way to play these classes and less like fiddly. There's just less fiddling going on. And I personally like that. Like, I like that direction. I know some people don't because they would rather have the fiddly, and I get it. And that's why classic exists. But for me, like the Warlock is crazy right now. Just, you have 1 billion minions and they all keep popping. And then eventually you're just like sending the most dark magic ball of fire into these dudes and wasting 50 of them at a time. Like, it's just mayhem and fun. And I think I would rather have it be really fun than slow. And
like I'm not complaining. It's just a different vibe. Like it's at the point where if you play the two, you'd be like, I see that they're the same game, but they're different games. It's just a different thing. Like, just, you can't be mad at one for not being the other when they're two different games with 20 years of difference between them, basically, in philosophy and stuff. So, it's fine. It's getting used to it when you're used to one. That's kind of hard, but no, I so far I was enjoying it. All I really need from the game right now that I don't need to explain context anymore, because I eventually got there. That was what the prep was. But at first I'm just like, what? I'm going to Gilneas. I don't know why, but I have to. It just popped up. It seems important.
Yeah. Also, don't forget to cash in your go to the what do you call it? The trader post thing. You cash in that currency. They have some kick-ass like mounts and transmog in there. Like, really good stuff.
I did buy a few. I've got 9,000 traveler points. I don't know if that's a lot, but
it's a pretty good amount. Yeah, you buy all kinds of things.
Buy everything that was on there. So I picked up a few things, but I'm saving it because I'm sure there's going to be new stuff to go along with the expansion.
Oh yeah, they refresh it and it's changed all the time. And sometimes it's old stuff from a previous thing. I think 2 weeks ago it was all like fish and tentacle related. So it was like all like tentacle swords and weird fish axes and stuff like that. Like, and a mount with it was like a big flying fish mount and all that sort of thing. So they kind of theme it sometimes, but
that's another thing I had to do that popped up was the trial of style or whatever. Mm-hmm. It was like, I go near the traveler's post and it goes, bing, you got a quest. And I'm like, no, I didn't talk to an NPC. Why do I have one? It's like, do a style thing. Oh, no, wait, I did talk to the transmog guy and he really wanted to give it to me.
Yeah. I had to do that. I did that quest as well. Yeah.
I did it, but I sucked. I think I got last place or something. Like I just did it to finish the quest to get the hell out of there.
Well, they give you something for that. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, there was there's some looks or something like that, but mostly I was just trying to clear my quest log. I'm trying to be at 0 so that when I start the war within, I have a fresh game to play. So which is what I accomplished. I've got Dragonflight quests, but I can easily abandon those, no problem.
Yeah, you can get out of those if you need.
Like, I know what those are. I know the context of those. Yeah. I went to the dock. I got on a boat.
Yeah,
and went to an island.
Yep.
So I understand
old island, like back in the day, Gilneas, like old Gilneas. So that's that's weird because when you get in there, it's these nice updated model characters, main characters, Greymane and everybody. and then you go into an old town that looks like it's made out of freaking crepe paper.
Yeah, Gilneas hasn't aged well. It just looks very empty there.
Yeah, it's not great.
Very unlived in area. That was another thing that was a little jarring was the Turalian business. So I guess Turalian and Illyria, weren't they like a couple or something like that? Or just good friends, maybe?
They were a couple.
No, they have a kid
together. But like, I guess at some point there's a dark heart that entered the picture or something, and then Turalian was like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, she took the void into her.
And Illyrian went to the void. And I'm piecing this together in the way that I think is linear, but I experienced none of this linearly. But I make my quest, so I'm like, is Illyria a good guy? Is she a bad? And then Turalian's like, let's go to Dragonflight Land, and I'm like, wait, but I just was in the void with Illyria. Do you not want to hear about that? And then a little adventure, and then I'm like, I'm doing this out of order. Like that.
Yeah, it can get a little rough with that, especially because even though they do the like main story icon above it, like post like max level content that gets added over, patches and stuff like that also get that icon.
Mm-hmm.
But once you've hit max level, you might still be doing the Dragonflight quest. So it actually happened to me where we were dealing with the primal dragons, whatever they're called, like the elemental dragons, and like the ice one is like being real mean and vicious and all of that. And then I clicked on a quest up in Alexandra's house. I can't remember. Trust me, I care. And then she's like, yeah, me and that ice dragon lady were friends now. And I was like, what? She's trying to kill us. And like now there's this cutscene of like them being like, we can work together. And I'm like, why? What happened?
Yeah.
Because it's a little
out of order.
Messy.
It is out of order. It's a little wonky. There's no question about it. Although it's always kind of been this. I've always had this problem. If I come back after a long time.
This isn't a new problem. It becomes more clear as they try to rein it in a little bit. Like when you could go anywhere and do anything at any time, it was like obviously a lot crazier.
Yeah.
When they try to show that there's a more linear path, when it stops being a linear path, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is jarring because you were trying to make it be the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like it's been this way forever. Like if you made a blood elf post Cataclysm, you would get like the Sunwell has been restored, the blood elves are free, and then all the quests are the Sunwell's gone, it's been destroyed. And you're like, well, wait a minute, the opening video just said it was gone. And then you go out in the world and they're like, good thing we restored that Sunwell. Oh, but then you go back to a blood elf area and they're like, ever since the Sunwell got destroyed, it's been real tough. I'm like, I don't know what the state of the Sunwell is, and I don't think you do either.
No, it's true.
Yeah, that's exactly my experience. I got the recap on the Void Quest from Shit Wizard before I did the Void Quest. So when I was doing the Void Quest, and I'm like, didn't I talk to Arch Void Diaperassimus or whatever? Oh no, that was in the flashback. Or what is it? Dimensius.
Dimensius. Whatever it is.
Arch Void Man Dimensius.
Mm-hmm. Sounds right. Let's go with that. I like it.
Dimensius. I like the name Dimensius though. It's actually pretty.
It's a fun name.
Sith Lord name, actually.
Yeah. Dimensius is pretty good.
It's not bad.
I was like, oh,
Darth Dimensius.
Yeah,
we got to shout out a good name here. That's a good one. And but it's like I got the spoiler, the recap before I did the actual quest, which I was like,
let me give you a little preview of what you're gonna be doing here, Beau. Here's let me lay it out for you.
It's my bad for not playing this whole time.
Well, sure, but it's also them. That's a challenge.
It's 14 where they designed it to be linear.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard challenge. I think they struggle with. They always have, and I don't think I think other MMOs struggle from the same thing. I know ESO struggles from this a little bit, where things get a little crossed. But the worst example for me was there's a dragon dude that's like one of the guard-looking dragon kind. I don't know what they're called. They got a name.
Yeah.
But they're big, beefy dudes. They're always the guards everywhere. And this one dude's like, I'm very curious about all these points of interest here in this place. Perhaps you could accompany me as I learn and do and stuff. And it's a main quest. So I do this with this guy some time ago, and it's fine. And then he turns on me and becomes a a douchebag that was only doing it to get all these secrets, and then he ran off to. He's probably going to raid for all I know. I'm catching up on that stuff, but he disappears and everyone's pissed and they can't believe they got taken by this guy. Well, then that's fine. But then there's this whole other quest that is a main quest that apparently happens before this, because when I go meet this dragon to talk to him, he's standing there going, "Oh yes, here we are again."
Hey, I don't want to alarm anybody, but I think this guy might be a traitor.
Yeah. And he had bailed previously. Well, apparently I'm out of, my time travel is wrong. It would have been later, but I didn't know that. I did it out of order. And this is the problem when you leave something, there are players out there that have never left and they're in there for all of it and they never miss a beat. And to them, they're like, what's wrong with you guys? Well, it's because when you leave for a while and you come back, that's a lot of effing content.
It gets messy.
There's
no order. Messy. They're not like, this is the, they don't want to tell you how to play the game. So they obviously don't do that. But
no,
a guide like that, when you're catching up, wouldn't be terrible.
Well, and even if it's one thing to go like, look, John, your Sunwell example, like, we know what happened with the Sunwell. If you've been playing, you know what happened. Yeah, I know. It doesn't change that that's not the way the game presents it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And if you're new, then it's very confusing. But if I don't know. Also, if you're new, it sets the expectation that, like, hey, this is not your story MMO. This is more of a popcorn flick. Get on the episode that you're on.
Right.
This is a long running
if you're
anime. Watch. Watch. You're on the Cell Saga. Okay, it's fun. The Cell Saga is great. You don't have to know Frieza. You don't have to if Frieza's important, they'll mention him. You just worry about Cell right now. They'll bring him up.
They'll bring it up. Here's the thing, though, too. This is, we're 2 weeks from the expansion? Not even that. This is always an awkward time. This is like junior high for everybody. We just don't know how to feel. We got boners in class. We don't know what to do. And they're about to switch it over. And new players or returning players are going to come back in 2 weeks, and they're going to have a great time because most of it will be deprecated. It'll be like, you don't need to worry about all that. We're moving forward. Hello and welcome to the War Within, right? But right now, we're this little awkward stage. I'm running old Pandaria shit just to get transmog, and Beau's poking around trying to figure out why Gilneas is in trouble. And he thought it was taken care of years ago. It's because they're in the awkward stage. And everyone has 7th period boners and can't get up and get to the board when the teacher asks them to. So we just have to wait. And when we get there, it'll be fine. Like, Beau, you getting the reins again and feeling that, like, the muscle memory of riding the bike. That's good, I think. Because when this hits, and you'll be, I think, more prepared for the retail side of it. Obviously, the classic side.
Yeah, I really want to silo myself into the War Within. As much as I want to go back and experience old content, it's a lot, and I don't think it's gonna be. Unless I'm raiding for transmogs or something. My plan is to experience the War Within content.
Yeah, same.
Just keep it there.
Big same. Yeah. Anyway, played a bunch of that. A lot of people joined our guild. We're now trying to figure out how to do more guilds and not have it be a mess.
Don't kick me out. Even though I'm not playing, don't kick me out.
I'm not kicking
I want my
you out.
Honorary position. I think I have it. I think there is actually a host rank in the core guild. I think I'm in it. So I think that prevents me from getting kicked out.
Yeah.
Is Tanner the guild leader?
He is for the retail side, yeah.
Okay. So, well, we'll figure things out. If somebody has like 5 alts in the group and more people want to get in, we might have to.
We're trying to find a programmatic way of doing it, because one of the wrinkles that's in it that's never been there before was they added cross-faction to the thing,
right,
and cross-realm, and so those two complications make things like the green wall plugin doesn't work.
They didn't
with
increase the guild size with this change.
No, it's annoying. They really should. And you know what's funny? I have it on inside information that it was the other guild we started when the instance was on, AIE caused them to shrink guild sizes. This is what I was told. So we were the reason, because we had like 9,000, 10,000 players or something. And they were like, we can't do this. This is untenable. So that's when they announced the change. And then we had to split it up into all those groups. We dealt with it because we had somebody smart enough in the group who knew how to write a plugin to have us all talk to each other. And it worked out fine. But with cross-faction, cross-realm, that goes away. It doesn't work the same. So we don't know what we're doing. We're never going to hit 10K again, but we'd like to
Trial
have
style tryouts. Only the most fashionable.
Also, it's 2024. Figure out a way to do it.
I think they could do it. There's no reason they couldn't. I just don't know what kind of priority.
Well, I often thought. I guess we have to talk to an engineer, but like I often thought, like for the alt problem, like because people do have their alts invited, like why could that be a separate limit?
It's
like
true.
Alt characters on the same account will never be all online at the same time.
Yeah.
No.
So I could put 10 characters into my guild, but I'm only ever going to be online in one instance. So what's the big deal?
Yeah, you should make it so if Beau has 5 characters, when Beau is online, he's the guild member. And when he swaps out, just like they're doing with these war party things, or what's it called? War party? Whatever it is. So you have your war band. It should be you who's the guild member, not your 15 characters that you swap through.
Right, do it real ID style or something. But
that's
maybe
how
you don't want to
fix
share
this.
your real ID, so it's fair. So
that's how you fix this, though. I think this is how you fix it. This is how it has to be.
I mean, because I'm sure there's people who like just based on how Classic shook out, I saw it shook out. Like everyone had alts because we wanted to have the main. I mean, people just enjoy doing alts, but they were to fill gaps.
Right.
We couldn't field when we were doing 10-mans. We'd have a second 10-man, but we'd have 2 spots, let's say. So I'd be like, I'll jump on my healer. So I'll make an alt just to help fill out raid and get everyone run who wanted to run.
Right.
So, but some people, especially with remix and this and this, what was the other thing? And just the way XP is going now.
Yeah.
Like everyone's gonna have 50 alts.
Oh yeah, everyone's
leveling. They kind of made this problem in a way.
Yeah, and you have boosters with the expansion. Everybody has a level 70 boost.
I'm not going to make anyone mad here, but I'm like not an alt. I'm not an alt guy.
You're not really an altaholic. I like alts.
I'm into trying stuff out till you find the one you like. I'm not against alts, but like I pick a character and that's my digital avatar in the world. Just like in real life, I can't be, both a internationally renowned podcaster, a K-pop idol, a comedian, a writer with 15 books that made 27 video games and earned 70. You know what I mean? Like I am one person, I have one avatar. And so like in my virtual world, I am one thing and the other people, that's why you need teamwork because there's all kinds of different people. So I play my character and I have shortcomings as much as I have power fantasy. And then other people have their powers and you come together and have the war within. So.
I like the idea I like what you're saying, but I also think Final Fantasy's method of job swapping is a pretty smart idea. I don't love how it takes kind of forever. I mean, John gave you some good advice, but it takes a little while to get those jobs up and stuff. But I like that idea that instead of you having 5 characters, you have a character who can do 5 jobs and swap between those. That's a really, I think, elegant way to handle it.
It is just video games and not that serious. So I'm not taking some big principled stance on what I just said, but sure.
It's my preferred method as well. I know, but I mean, it is an interesting topic because I know this is something that you and Greg have talked about on your podcast. That's a big question.
Right.
Are you designing a game with alts in mind? Or are you designing a game where you create a character and you do everything? Like that's a very unique feather in Final Fantasy's cap. Not a lot of games do that. And I think, there are people that absolutely love alts. There are things I like about it. I like coming up with other characters and like, oh, here's a cool idea for a character. I like the theming that you can do, that WoW can do as a result. Like if you play a troll druid, your druid forms look very different than if you're a tauren druid. Like I think that sort of stuff is really, really cool. Obviously you don't have that if you just pick one character, or you're tied to it if you just pick one character. So I think there are strengths there for sure. Personally, I like being able to just go, my character is going to be this, and it makes new jobs or classes feel way more exciting when they get put in the game, because instead of going like, ugh, that's going to be a whole new character I got to figure out, and what if they don't put it on the race that I want to play it on? Like it's like a moment where you see the new job and you go, oh, I can try that. Right. And if I don't like it, I don't have to play it. I'll just go play something else. Like it's no big deal. I really, really like that, because that's how I was with this. Is I was like, ooh, Viper, in the new expansion seems like exactly the kind of job I want to play. But what if it isn't? What if I want to go back to Dancer? Well, it's pretty easy. I was able to level up both simultaneously, so they were both max level. I was able to gear both simultaneously. there's maybe a 5 item level difference between my Dancer and my Viper, and I did that without trying, trying too hard.
Right,
so
right.
it's kind of nice.
Where the rubber meets the road and that stuff, which is what I am assuming Final Fantasy 14 solves, is sometimes you're on your alt and you're like, but I could be grinding an important resource on my main.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like there's this sort of sunk fallacy thing that you like, well, I need to, this is my main character. I've got to get space points to get good gear. And if I'm playing around on an alt, I'm not doing progression on my main. You know, there's only so much time. And I always end up in that spot where I'm like, I'm investing in something that's not going to pay off. You know, whereas if I stick around on my main, I'll get a good item and be geared and, you know, all that shit. All that MMO, that I'm playing too much MMO problems that you get. Because usually when that stuff comes up, that's usually when I start to think I'm going to quit. Like I'm out. These decisions are way too hard and annoying to me. You know, it's time to leave. So hopefully War Within is casual enough that I can enjoy the story, play some dungeons and raids with friends, get up. I guess delving is going to be a thing. I hope it's fun, and you know, have a good time with it, and then play Space Marine in September.
Yeah, that's a perfect. I think you have your itinerary is a strong one. I like it.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be in there for the next 12 months.
Right. No, that's great.
Although who knows, I may love it, and you may never hear from me again. I'll just be an Azeroth.
It's just every week played well.
No, it's got my.
Let's go to Beau. You still playing WoW? Yep. All right, that was Beau's what he played this week.
Yep. It's got its claws pretty deep in me right now, but you know it comes and goes.
I said the same thing about Sod,
and
I ended up playing like 5 days a week. You know,
you went all in. Yeah, that's true. You know,
it's such a reasonable plan, and it went completely the other way.
Like the story of my life.
It's the same thing, because you're saying this. I'm like, you know what? That's a healthy way to look at it. Good on you, Beau. But you're right. That is the exact same thing you said about Season of Discovery.
It's my quintessential gamer problem. In my head, I can conceptualize responsible application of gamer time, but in life, it's 60. I'm going to play WoW for 4 hours, enjoy myself, spend some time with some friends, do some quests, and then 16 hours later, I'm like, I should go to bed, but I think I'll do one more dungeon. Well, like that's been my life.
Yeah, no, I get it.
My autobiography. My book will be very short.
I think it's good to have a plan, and you have one, so that's fine. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's what we're doing in WoW. Let's move on to Shapes with a Z 2. So. I've been playing Shapes with a Z2 a lot, and or whenever I can, honestly, because all the addiction is there again. My gosh, I love it. And once again, I don't feel like I'm very good at it at first. Moving into the third dimension means I've got to think in 3-dimensional ways now, and I love the way it kind of transitions into those aspects of it. They don't just dive in. You kind of do some of the things you did in Shapes 1. And you go, okay, that's pretty normal. All right, what now? And then you're like, oh, interesting. These stacks. So how do I get up there? And is there a third level? Oh, there is, but I have to unlock it. And like all these things just start happening. And I'm not even super far, maybe 10 hours in. But the game, I'm just getting to the point where the game is starting to make me color and do some pretty crazy shape combinations. And it's just my favorite one of these. Like as much as I love all those automation games, I really like them all, even though I do a lot of spaghetti factories. This one in particular, it's just, I don't know what it is, scratches all my brain itches and doesn't get bogged down in, oh, you're all out of this resource. It doesn't care about that. It's like, this is infinite. Now it's up to your brain to figure out the best way to do this, the most efficient way to do it. And if you don't like what you did, delete what you did and make a new one. And don't worry, you don't have to go dig for anything. It's all here. It's just here for you to go. And you just keep expanding and making it bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's trains in it now and some crazy painter shit that I saw the other day. Anyway, nobody else can buy this game yet until I think the 15th. So
fools me yet.
It's so good, you guys. It's so good. I can't wait for everyone to get it. I really, truly, I can't wait. There are some people, some friends of mine who got super hooked on 1 as well, and they're out of their minds excited, and they should be.
I played a bit of 1 and it's good, but this, like, the graphical upgrade on this thing is like considerable. It's gonna.
Oh, it's a huge jump, right?
I hope this finds a big audience for them. Yeah, because I think it's like, when a game is like fundamentally fun but doesn't look, that's very black and white, right? It looks
pretty basic.
I can be prejudicial in I don't play monochrome games,
right? Right.
It's true, and this game is very flashy, and I'm looking forward to it too. I think I'm excited.
It's very pretty. It made it so that I didn't play. I meant to play some SteamWorld Heist 2 today, and I didn't because I was playing Shapez during a meeting. By the way,
well,
great meeting game.
John, it seems like a meeting game. For sure.
And it definitely is. And here's one of the reasons it's great for a meeting game. Even if I did some bullcrap scawampus looking spaghetti factory to get red cubes on top of yellow whatevers, even if it's slow, it's still happening in the background. So even if I alt tab and I'm working on other things, it's back there adding them up and getting me
like a mobile game, but good.
A little bit, yeah. That's a decent way of putting it. So there's progress regardless of whatever you're doing. But also, I'm not at a loss for anything. So even if I accidentally left the game dumping squares into a hole, and then I had to go do something, get the door, answer a call, whatever, nothing's wrong because there's no limit to how many squares I need or objects or whatever. There's no finite resources. It's the puzzle is how do you work with what's available, and it's available in abundance, but how do you best do it, and how do you better improve your numbers? Like, well, I'm capturing like 10 of these a second. That's pretty good, but I could probably get 12 if I work harder. Like it's all that kind of stuff, and it's just tickling all the right sides of my brain. So loving it.
What strikes me about this too, the way everything's set up. I mean, you could teach you could learn how your microprocessing in your PC works out of this, right?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
It's just bits moving around.
It really is. It's kind of you hear this all the time, but automation games are a form of programming, kind of, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. But this, because the abstraction, it really looks like a bit. Mm-hmm. There's a little piece that moves. The distance probably matters, and how it's efficiently. I don't know if it does calculations, but you probably could do calculations.
Oh, it totally does. Later on, you have to unlock these, but they have these meter stations. The first game had them too. Is late game, but once you get them, you plop it down in the middle of, say, your conveyor belt, and it will clock your belt and say you're doing, and it will be a real time number, and it'll be like sticking around 10 consistently or whatever the number you're aiming for, and that's just such a great feeling because you're like, I'm very efficient. These engines worked really well. But then you'll have time where suddenly that number will drop down to 3 average per second. You're like, what the hell did I do? And now you're back looking for where your mistake was. Oh, shoot, I crossed 2 of these. And there's something so satisfying about solving those problems. They just have captured that for me in a way that these other games kind of do, but they haven't entirely got me. The closest I get to this with one of those more traditional ones is the Chinese one that we like, Dyson Sphere program. I like that one, but only when I turn resources adds to infinite.
Yeah.
Then I'm in my zone. And some people may say, well, that's just easy mode. Okay, but
it's not meant to be hard game anyway.
Yeah, I don't want that feeling.
It's just a sandbox. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm there to build and improve and throw away and start over and have it be better the next time. And
that's what I was going to say. Where Shapez is different is that there's less. There's this game friction because you have an avatar,
mm-hmm.
and because you have to maintain things. It's like friction keeping you just from playing with the Lego pieces.
Oh, that's the other part. Yeah, because it's like a God mode in this game where you can go anywhere at any time, zoom way out, zoom way into a thing, fix your problem, go somewhere else. You don't have a little guy you got to run around. And I know there are mods to take that off of both Dyson Sphere and Factorio has a mod for that. But I don't want to mod my games. I just want this game to be what it is. In some ways, it's very pure and it's very simple, but the complexity just comes in how you do it and, what the results are, and then just change your mind. But you're still having goals, right? This thing's still gamified in that it's not going to even let me have, for example, a swapper, this little device that lets me put on top of a belt and between 2 belts running parallel, swap the pieces that are on them and then send those down the rest of the length. That's the thing I have to unlock. Well, how do I do that? Well, I have to do some of these little side quests and also the main goal quests. And once I've done those can unlock. So there's still these things motivating me, these breadcrumbs. So it isn't just pure like, let's go sandbox mode. I mean, I think the game will support that eventually, but I think you have to beat it first to even get it. Anyway, I just love it. It's great. Runs really well on my PC and my Mac for that matter. Just an awesome, awesome game. Can't wait for those guys. I hope they have nothing but success because they deserve it.
Sorry, that's next week?
Yeah, 15th, I believe.
Oh, uh-oh.
Coming up quick. Warcraft. The other nice thing about it, though, is it's the kind of game that is going to be a great supplement to any other thing you're doing. So if you're playing WoW, you're super into it, you're playing all the time, but then you're going to have some time during the day where you're like, I'm going to go do some factory shit. Like, it's not the same kind of game. It's so different and takes...
No, it's a different activity entirely.
Yeah, like a whole different reason to play. I mean, I'm not saying everybody's got all the
time with WoW. You can shut your brain off. Like I said, what do? I press this button to hit. I press this button to taunt.
Mm-hmm. And watch my TV show in the background. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love that stuff too.
Like, the problem's not going to fix itself, dum-dum. So
yeah. Do you want these?
They're replacing conveyor belts.
Do you want to ship these shapes on time? Well, get in there, buddy. I also played a game that reminded me how much I miss the 16-bit era. Specifically sort of Genesis era of barbarian themed games. Not that there were many, but you guys remember like Golden Axe and, stuff like that. It was like, big dude bro 90s bullshit. And I found an indie game that I really like a lot. And it is called, where'd the name go? Abathor.
Evolution detected.
Yeah, you put little things on people's heads.
Yep.
You gotta go out there. You gotta infect things.
Yep. You gotta, Abathor.
Some little zerglings out. They're gonna do stuff.
He has to. He could become somebody and fool you, right? Was that the deal?
Stuff you could clone.
Oh, that's right.
Evolution, I think, is the name of the.
I always forget what he did. Well, anyway, it's a side-scrolling, 16-bit looking. Barbarian game. You can choose through the various barbarians. I have different skills. One has kind of some magic stuff. This guy's your big beefy, basically your Conan type. There's a girl. They have different strengths and weaknesses. I mean, it
was such disdain. There's a girl.
There's a girl.
There's a girl.
They put a girl in there.
I should say there's this awesome woman character you can choose as your avatar.
3 dude classes and 1 girl.
Yep, nailed it.
Are they all barbarians?
They're all barbarians.
They're all barbarians.
Yes, there's a lady barbarian.
But one is more barbarian than the other. So that's what you're playing at.
Yeah, there's one barbarian who does a magic trick that sucks your life, kind of like a siphon life kind of thing.
I think there's 2 barbarians.
I thought there were 4 total barbarians.
There's 4. There's 2, but like 2 like buff Arnie types, I guess, because you got like the little mage. Looks like guy or whatever.
Yeah, he's magey. He's still pretty buff though, and he's still mainly melee. It's like I don't know how to explain it. There's something about the vibe, and it just takes me back to.
I mean, we should play this. I'm watching some footage.
Oh yeah, it's co-op, by the way.
4-player co-op.
Yeah,
this looks awesome.
I should mention that. It has really good co-op. It has like difficulty slider that is like super intense. You can do like a nice casual solo run, or if you want, you can crank up that difficulty and really go for it with your friends. It's neat. It's a neat game, and I love the animation and the fluidity of the whole thing. Look at this, like these crashing waves behind my little barbarian man.
Yeah, it's very richly animated for pixel art. It's not.
Yeah,
they spared no expense.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, called Abathor, and when you finish a level, it's also, that's the other thing. When you finish a level, you go and you apply, but you have a bunch of money that you picked up, these gems, and now you can spend those gems on upgrades. So the game's got some progression as well. It's not just simply side scrolling, pretend we're a Genesis game or whatever. It's got modern trappings. I really like it a lot. And
it looks cool, actually. I'm impressed with it. Like, it's very simple, but this would be a bit of fun with some
oh yeah, total blast.
I want to play with you guys, man.
Yeah, I would play if you pick this up. I'd play it. Ooh, we found a secret. Keep hitting there, buddy. All right. Anyway, this game's rad, so people should play it. Again, the game is called Abathor. My games again today were World of Warcraft, Shapes with a Z2, and Abathor.
Oh yeah, we got to put the reminders up. We're gonna hear about it.
Yeah. Anyway, very cool thing. Let's jump over to John, whose journey in Path of Exile apparently continues.
Yeah, I hit Act 6, which is the first part of Part 2. And I'm finally starting to hit a little friction. People have said Path of Exile is really tough, and considering I'm not following a build guide, and I didn't realize how stupid this was till people started asking me questions. So because I haven't gotten into like specifics, people that like Path of Exile have been asking me on Discord for very specific information about my build and whatnot. I didn't really think it was that stupid of a thing until I had to type it out, and then I went, "Oh, this is kind of a stupid thing." But people are like, "What skill are you building around? You know, what kind of build are you going with?" And it was then when I had to answer that question that I realized I was building around Double Strike, the very first ability you are given and unlock in the game. It is not one you find. It's not one you have to buy. It is literally given to you as a tutorial on how to unlock a new ability. And that's what I decided to build my character around. And you know what? It's gotten me to Act 6.
Pretty good. Yeah, not bad.
I've done okay with it, I will say. Not that I think it's the hardest thing in the world. There's plenty of acts left to go, but I think I've done all right with it. But some of those bosses, definitely, I finally hit a spot where I was like, man, I'm cruising on this because I kill everything very quickly for the most part. I'm finally getting to where I have to hit things a couple times. But for the longest time, it was just right click and a bunch of stuff around me died.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to, all right, right click a couple times. And bosses take a little longer too. And I finally started hitting points where I'm like, yeah, look at me going. Look at me do it. And then my character's gone. Just erased from existence, and I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
And I just have flashbacks to the first time I fought Diablo in Diablo 2, where I was like, I'm ready for this. I'm an awesome character. He walked up, my character just died instantly. I was like, what the hell happened?
Oh, no.
I don't even know what was going on.
Respecking isn't really a thing, is it? Or is it? Is there a way to...
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of. So the new league, which is kind of what they call their seasons, it does have respecking as a thing you can do. There are kind of like free respecking points that you can get, but it's like on a point by point basis. So if you wanted to completely reset your whole grid, I don't have enough points for that. But I did do a slight alteration where I decided I really wanted to go to one part of the skill tree, and I had been kind of building in an opposite direction, or at least not an efficient one. And I was like, you know what? I could get rid of like 3 points on this, and it would have almost zero impact on my character negatively. And it would get me to where I want to go quicker.
Yeah.
And so I had enough points to refund those and do that. And so stuff like that is very easily doable. Yeah, game continues to be great. I will say, I'm sorry I see people getting excited about Path of Exile. I do think I'm running out of steam on it a little bit. And it's not because of anything that the game did wrong. It's not because of any lack of interest in the game. I still think this is probably the best ARPG I've played in a very, very long time. I've been having a wonderful time with it. But I am feeling the weight of it. This is the best way I can say to describe it, is I am starting to feel a lot of the, like, oh, there's so much content here, and there's so much built on top of stuff, on top of stuff, on top of stuff, and here's a new thing, and here's a new thing. And it's so much that mixing it with trying to play a bunch of other stuff on a week-to-week basis is just getting really hard. It's getting a little taxing, because on one hand I have something that's going like, hey, you could give me all the time in the world and you would be rewarded well for it, while I'm trying to do a bunch of other things at the same time. And so I think that I might be stepping away from it for a little bit, although I am still tempted to go, okay, I now understand the value of a build. I kind of want to experiment with it. I may jump into the current league and play that with a build type character and just go like, well, what's a league look like? Because I haven't done that yet. And so that could be fun. I might do that to kind of finish things off with Path of Exile. But I will say this. what my time in Path of Exile has done for me above all, besides like go, oh no, I do actually really like this genre. I was starting to think maybe that wasn't true. Is I am now so excited for Path of Exile 2. It didn't like it kind of pinged on the like, you typically like these types of games, like maybe you should be interested in it. Now couldn't be more excited for that game. Like that is something I am jumping at as soon as it comes out, and will be extremely eager because I do think it's going to resolve probably the biggest issue, which is that weight of content that has come out over the years and years that I haven't been a part of, that I'm just not ready to commit to, you know?
Right.
And it's sort of like Beau with, you know, getting into retail WoW. There's a lot there. And I think you have to kind of go in and temper it and go, okay, this is what I want my focus and interest level to be. And I think Path of Exile 2 will be a good opportunity to go, well, maybe now my interest is getting in on the ground level for something like
is that
this.
how that'll... So that just brings up a question in mind, because I don't know the answer to this, and maybe it's somewhere. I could have looked it up. But when 2 hits, 2 is a fresh start? Like
it was a completely different game.
Okay. Because there was some talk for a while that it was all integrated and they weren't.
It was originally going to be, there was going to be just like Path of Exile was going to turn into Path of Exile 2. They are not doing that.
Okay.
It is a separate game now.
All right. That's actually kind of exciting. You know, good to see what they do for a new thing. That would be, see, I would be more inclined to dive into a PoE 2 than I would be if they just said, well, it's a game as a service and we just keep adding to it. And I'm not as into that, which I think 4 is Diablo 4's plan is more that, you know, more like a LOM.
Because PoE, like they are cribbing off PoE to some extent with how they're doing things. Like the only difference is PoE is free to play, while Diablo's a box price
game. Yeah.
But they sell enough, I guess. So it's all good for
them.
But
that's interesting though. I didn't know. When is that? Next year?
I don't think it has a set date yet.
I think they're gonna hit after the Diablo X-Pack at some point.
Oh, they'll
you think this year? Is it?
Maybe not. Maybe early 2025, but probably 2025.
Probably wait for that to calm down a bit before they. I know they did this with some announcements. They waited for Diablo stuff to kind of clear for a bit, and then
there might have been delays too that I've made. Like I don't pay too close attention to what's going on with PoE. So, but my sense was 2025.
Okay. According to the AI robots at Google, pulling up some information from an article, expected to be early 2025, with beta launching towards the end of 2024.
Not bad. Not bad. You could be playing the beta, John, before you know it.
I don't know if I would do that. I kind of want to just play the game when it comes out. Again, it's kind of an issue of like,
I don't like betas.
There's so much to do. I don't want to burn out before it comes out. Like, you know, I've got Hades 2 sitting on my computer. I haven't touched it because
I don't like betas.
As much as I want to play Hades 2 and can't wait for it, I want to play it when it's done.
Yeah,
like that's what I want to see.
I'm with
you.
That
was the experience I had with the first one, and that's what I want to recreate.
Yeah, I would always get back in the day. I would always get early access or early beta access to all the WoW expansions, and I would literally install it, walk in, go, cool, that looks like it's gonna be awesome. I don't want to see it now. I'd get out.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah.
You want to play it twice and have your second time, which is the way it's meant to be played, sullied by having played and be bored.
I'm glad I'm glad that exists for players who are super hardcore about that, and it's good for the games.
I think it works in competitive games. If it's a deathmatch game, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Like Overwatch beta was awesome.
Yeah, we had a great time in there.
Awesome.
I've never liked Overwatch more than I did its beta period.
Yeah, no, that's when John was all in on that game.
That was my fit. That was when Overwatch was at its best. Was beta.
Like ARPGs are like, it's just, they take a lot of time and they can get very stale. They can be exciting for a while, and then once you've done the same activity 500,000 times, you're like, I think I want to do something else.
You want to do something new, yeah.
So yeah, I definitely had that problem with Diablo 4, falling asleep while playing. So
yeah, there's video of you falling asleep, right?
Are you gonna try it, Beau? It has damage numbers, I hear.
Oh yeah, damage numbers and
PoE 2. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I was kind of stoked for PoE 2. There was They're having damage numbers? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, because it's a new game. They can do damage numbers now.
I'm stoked. Stoked. For some reason, whatever they programmed in it doesn't have numbers, I guess.
Wait, hold on. I want to ask you a question about that. Would it bother you if the game faked damage numbers? Now, not completely faked, not just went like, I don't know, 7, 14, 152. But like, what if it, instead of giving you what your actual damage number was, it was giving just a number that was representing what it thought it was, and it seemed consistent? Would that bug you, or would that be like, okay, I'm in, numbers are popping out?
If I knew, it would bug me because I want the correct information, right? If I knew. But if I didn't know and it seemed consistent, I mean, look, when I play Diablo 3 and it's going like, you crit for 18 billion damage, I don't know if that's correct. I don't know what 3,000 dexterity times 200% when you use this ability plus whatever, gems I have, like Taeguk, like, multiplying 0.2% damage per stack up to 10 like, I have no idea if that's correct. It's a feel thing. So your point's well taken, because it reminds me of that. There was a Counter-Strike video going around. I think it's an old one, but it got brought back up. It got resurfaced somewhere where in this GDC talk, whenever they would release a new patch, the Counter-Strike players would complain that the servers were slow. And they didn't make any changes to like netcode. They're like, "Come on, guys!"
Oh,
like,
I remember this now. That. Yeah.
So then what the guy did was he just faked the ping numbers, and to see if anyone would notice that everyone had like 30 ping, and they're like, "That update you did to make the servers better was awesome."
They're just looking at the numbers.
I forgot about that.
Okay, it just says that the ping is good, and they're not experiencing any lag, so they got nothing to bitch about, and they don't think it's possible somebody's just gonna fuck with them like that. And I thought that's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah.
I have one other thing that I'm just curious about. Would this be an acceptable alternative? What if instead of damage numbers, it was like comic book / Batman like sound effects? So like regular damage, it was like biff, 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 just the word biff popping out of the enemy. But then if you critted, it would be like bam. So it'd be like biff, biff, bam, 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 biff, 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 bam. But then when you did an insane amount of damage, it would be like kazoom, and it would be all big font. Is that acceptable, or is that?
I kind of like it, but I would still prefer numbers. It's still,
is it better or worse?
It's better
numbers.
If your game was a superhero, like if it was a Marvel or DC thing, you would. I think John's got a great idea. But I don't want
get both in Heroes. If I play superhero Sonya, I get both the Bim Baff and
that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Her skin comes with biffs. She has biffs in her skin.
Yeah, but like I appreciate what you're trying to say, but no, numbers rule all. I like to pretend like I know the calculations are accurate. Like the kind of
he's a big number in Beau goes, yes, that's correct. That's accurate.
Yeah. That is funny though. I forgot about that Counter-Strike story, but I don't think too many gamers really know what's going on. But they're susceptible to placebo
effects. They get shot.
Effects.
They're like, well, look at my ping. It's 150.
Yeah.
And now they get shot. And they're like, well, it can't be my ping. My ping's 30.
Yeah, they're a funny bunch, especially shooter people. All right, John. What else? Oh, Domekeeper, dude. I love Domekeeper. I have Domekeeper. I reviewed it years ago on this show. It's at least, but probably last year sometime. But that game is rad. So what do you think?
So I feel like last week we all acknowledged that Shatterproof had gifted us too many video games.
Yeah.
And Shatterproof followed up on us saying like, hey, we appreciate your kindness. You're doing too much for us by gifting me more video games. So Shatterproof gifted me Domekeeper. This game is really good, really solid. It does give me a little bit... So... certain games just trigger a level of not like crippling anxiety. Like I'm hesitant to say it because it becomes such a like loaded expression of like, oh, I can't function.
Yeah.
Like it's not that. I'm not at, oh, I can't do anything anxiety levels. But I do get anxious about the like, I'm down here working and I know something's going to come and attack me.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like Dave the Diver. Like, I didn't like Dave the Diver, despite the fact that I could see all the charm that everybody was talking about, because Dave the Diver, unfortunately, like it just hit a couple of like gaming types that really irk me. This gets a little bit close. Having to go down and do a job when I know something's going to come and attack me soon makes me very nervous.
I don't like it. I don't like that part either. I hate that.
And but I like the elements of the game. So like when I go up and I'm shooting the laser, I'm like, yeah, look at me, I'm shooting the laser. This feels good, and doing the upgrades feels good. And going down and doing the drilling feels good. But I am also keenly aware that I'm feeling very anxious while I'm down doing the job, and I'm constantly looking at the timer. So it feels like a game that should be like kind of mellow and chill. And I'm kind of at a more heightened state when I play it than I expect to be based on how it looks and how things are going. But it is a very cool game. And so for those that don't know, Scott's talked about it before, but if you didn't hear Scott talk about it, basically what it is you are in this big dome structure, and you are a little dude with a jetpack, and you got to mine down below your dome and get resources and haul them back up to your dome. But then every now and then your dome will get attacked. You have to sit at a terminal and protect your dome. So you're kind of trying to do two things. You're trying to mine for resources, which get you upgrades to do everything better, but you're also trying to defend the dome. And the upgrades help you defend the dome and mine better. And you kind of just have to balance all of that together. And then, you can go deeper and do more stuff. The more
like an evolution
you get.
on Dig Dug. Like, we used to have Dig Dug and it was simple, and now we got this.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's more like, to me, it's well, like the SteamWorld Dig games are not a lot like this, but digging down and going cavernous and all that is I'm a huge fan of that. Like from the Dig Dug days forward, I love that kind of thing.
The Dig Dug days.
But so here's where I agree with you, John, and I don't know why they didn't do this. Maybe a mode would be cool, but give me a mode where there's not a timer and it's just go do all your work in the basement. Okay, that's all you can do for now. Now rest, and then in the morning you get attacked or something, and it's more of a phase and less
like
of
a wave-based thing. Almost.
Less of me going, oh shit, I'm almost out of time, that thing's eating the side of my dome, I got to get up there, and you're only so fast, and like it is a little anxiety inducing.
Well, and I think there will be people that like this style. Like, I don't expect everybody to react the same way. Like, I wouldn't even say that I think this is a negative for the game. I think it's a bit of a negative for me. And I think, it'll be for other people too. But I think overall the game is good. If I want to play a chill drilling game, I'll go play SteamWorld Dig.
Yeah.
Like, that game is very chill, and you just do that. So I think it's good. Not all games have to be the thing that it's riffing on. So I think it's cool that it does do something a little bit different. But I think that's the one factor for me that's just kind of preventing me from being too into this, is just that.
Sounds like
that
maybe
little
you need
bit.
some automated turrets rather than just the shooting part.
Yeah, but then it becomes tower defense, and then I go, ooh, like,
and then Scott's out. Yeah, I think it's good for what it is. Again, I don't want it to sound like I'm blasting it too much, but I would just say, like, when you evaluate it, if you're interested in this game, Domekeeper being the game, think about that before you buy it. Know that there's a little bit of a time limit element to it. It's not crazy. It doesn't ever feel stressful. And I think that's maybe the part that's really redeeming for this is, while I was anxious about it, there was never a part of me that was like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I'm so stressed out about how I'm going to do all this.
Yeah. It's not that bad.
And usually if it was getting to that point, it was my own fault. It was because I knew that enemies were about to attack. And like a big dummy, I'm like, well, I'm going to carry 7 pieces of gold. And my character's going so slow, and all I would have to do is just drop the gold.
Yeah.
But greedily, I'm holding on to it, so I'm moving incredibly slowly. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that timer's going to run out. I got to hurry. But no, it's me carrying all the gold, like a bad guy in an action film.
That's because you want the gold.
He wouldn't let go of the gold, so he died. He's gone.
Beau, this is also a Godot game, or Godot. What is it?
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Godot. Godot, whatever it is.
Godot. Yeah. You can say however you want.
I think it's one of the first ones I played where I was like, oh, this whole game's made in that thing Beau's making Lake Run in at the time. That was about when I was playing
it's a fully formed engine. You can make games in. Whenever I should get back to it. I need to start. I could,
Yeah.
Like asset wise, if you think about like your game plan, like you're not making fully animated. Even that Barbarian game, it's like you got fully animated characters that move, but this.
Yeah.
You're a little dude in this game. It's just a little dude,
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
No, it's not too bad. You could probably, prototype this in a couple of weekends. I don't know how long it was.
Game development takes time, okay? I just said it looked like. I said Vampire Survivors looked like it was made in a weekend.
That's absolutely true.
Let's keep the memes.
Keep the memes
spread more misinformation.
We gotta have our misinformation memes have gotten out of control. No, this game's rad. I would recommend it too, and I'm glad that you got it. It's good that you mentioned those caveats though, because I think there's some players that'll be like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to worry about that. I just want to go dig."
Yeah, if you just want to dig, play SteamWorld Dig.
Yeah,
it's a great game where all you do is dig. If you want to do something else, this is great too.
Sure.
I don't know why I think people don't know why we're saying Godot in chat. It's because in French the T is silent. That's how I sort of.
I thought we confirmed that at some point that it was Godot and not Godot.
It's been a little while. I just say Godot because
before she saved the world from violence by singing on an iPhone video, Gal Gadot created a programming language.
Right. Well, she's Gadot though. Not Godot.
I forgot all about that stupid Zoom call. I hated that so much. It's the most out of touch thing they could have ever done.
They made fun of it on The Boys, I think.
Yeah.
They did.
I like her, but that was a bad move.
Yeah.
Well,
you could. Well, but that's what being out of touch is. It doesn't make them terrible human beings. It just means they really stepped in it.
I like myself quite a bit, and I've done things I'm not proud of. So it's like everybody messes up from time to time.
Sure. Here, I found the agreed pronunciation for it. Do you want to know what Reddit says it is now?
Yeah.
It says it is Godot, like Godot, like God-O, like Godot.
Right. So like an American trying to say a French word. Godot.
Godot.
Yeah. It'd be Godot.
Yeah, Godot.
Oui,
poo-poo. John, you played a little Marvel Midnight Suns. What's that about?
I did. I was in the mood to. My son's new thing is. He offers me a glimmer of hope that I might be able to play video games again every now and then by going like, "Hey, Daddy, let's go play in your office." And then he just quietly sits down and plays with his cars. And he wants me to be present for it, but he doesn't need me to be active.
Right.
Like if I start touching it, he's like, "No, you're doing it wrong." Just let me do it. I'm like, okay. But when I start trying to play something or I start doing something myself, all of a sudden, he has a ton that he wants from me. All of a sudden, it's like, "Dad, look at this. Daddy, look at this. Daddy, watch me. Yeah. Hey, come here, play with this." Like, because he knows now he's not the center of the attention.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I need stuff that's... We need to go back to like when he was a baby, and I need some turn-based business for when he's in the room. I need something that I can just sort of walk away when I'm getting... attention called to me, and then something to occupy the time so I'm not just staring at him playing on the floor for hours a day.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'd never played any of the DLC characters for Midnight Suns. I've just seen Deadpool and Wolverine, so I was like, hey, Deadpool, he's popular right now. Maybe I'll get in and play a little bit of that. And I loaded it up. And I did the tutorial stage and was like, oh my God, this game is so good. Why doesn't everybody talk about Marvel Midnight Suns all the time? This is so satisfying. This is so fun. And then I got to the story bit wandering around the Abbey and I was like, I don't really feel like playing Marvel Midnight Suns anymore.
The Abbey parts are a little tedious.
It takes a while.
It's not that it's even bad. It's
not bad.
It's okay. But I think the problem is that the game is so much fun that the just okay part is a huge detriment to it.
Yeah.
And
it's
like
just a little too long of downtime talking.
Yeah.
They just needed to wrap it up. If you like visual novels and you like your games to have that level of blah 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 blah, then we've got the game for you. But
yeah, BG3 did a better job of keeping it tight, I think.
Yeah. We don't, unless you're like hitting a big like story beat. I think it's good to have maybe those long interludes or sessions where there is a lot to go on. We're going to talk about Yakuza because that's a game that can go on and on and on some of its quests.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's great. Sometimes you're like, please let me get back to the video game.
Yeah, I'd like to play this video game now.
Yeah, and I think what ends up happening, John, you correct me if I'm wrong, it's just not that you have like 5 people to talk to, you know?
Yeah, and it
Like
just
7
keeps
people to
growing
talk
as
to.
the roster gets bigger.
Because you do get to a point where before like you're going to finish the game and you're just powering up and you've exhausted finally, like you're no longer at Blade's book club or you know, you're done helping.
I love Blade's book club.
Blade's book club. I mean, it's awesome. It's a great little aspect. He's trying to, you know, he's trying to woo not Stormy Daniels. What's her name? Freaking Miss Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Right, Captain
Susan Sarandon. What's her name?
Carol Danvers. You're close.
Yeah, Carol Danvers. That's right, because they call everyone by their, you know, their government names or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I really like Carol or whatever. You know? And so, yeah, like that part was like, it's fun. And you know, you invite like Wolverine. He's like, why am I here?
Mm-hmm.
I want to read it.
Yeah. They're all fun in a bubble, in a vacuum. But if you're just in the like, oh man, well, 'cause some of those missions go by really fast too.
Yeah.
So especially as you get better at it, it's like, oh man, and it's so fun to play. But it's like, all right, I did 5 minutes of gameplay that I absolutely loved. And now, while maybe I do love Blade's Book Club from a concept point, I want to get back to another fun 5 minutes of gameplay. And it doesn't matter how good Blade's Book Club is. Like, I want to get back to the gameplay, and there's so many barriers in front of it that I'm just like, ugh. So I wish this game had done a lot better, because I wish there was a sequel, and I wish that they would have just double down on what the game is. Like, you don't have to remove the story altogether, but come up with more heroes, put way more heroes in it. Let that be where most of the work and the creativity is designing heroes. Make Scarlet Witch a lot better. And then, you know, let it be more combat based, because the story, like, I even liked a lot of the humor and a lot of the jokes. Like, as bad as it was at times, I thought some of it was really good. But it wasn't for everybody. It wasn't to everybody's taste. And it's like, well, who is this for? And it's taking up the vast majority of your game time. Like, that's the biggest issue with it.
Yeah. I don't know how much of that is I don't know how much of that is padding, like on purpose. I don't mean in a nefarious way, but when they're designing this game, they're like, well, we don't have enough combat for 10 hours, but we will if we add this other 4 hours of dialogue. I don't know how they do that stuff.
And it doesn't even need to be, because there's so many like other systems and stuff in here that you could easily have just a combat scenarios for days, and it would be just fun to do different teams and try different things.
Like XCOM, it has random missions, right? There's not always story missions, so you can just kind of, you know,
just play
missions.
I remember you doing that a lot.
Like I said, you get to a point towards the end game where there's no more story. Like, I got to that point. I can just do mission after mission, check in with there's that fighting that you do to help train and become more closer with people, right?
Yeah.
The dojo, and then you check in with I've done all the Abbey stuff, so I don't got to walk around and find any more secrets. You know, you get to a point where you're just doing the missions, and like, you're right, that was a better era of the game. Because sometimes it was like, okay, here we go, going to spend 45 minutes chatting.
It's a lot of it's a lot of talk. That game. We all got put off by the same thing over time. I didn't play nearly as much as you guys, but
I played it through. I finished the game. Like, it didn't put me off, because the game was so good that I endured.
It's a real bummer. They're never gonna.
I beat it too.
They're never gonna make another one though. It's a bummer.
I mean, they might, but it would be surprising if they did, because it didn't do well by most accounts.
And
but
the director, I think, left. Like, he's out. He left Firaxis or whatever.
So good.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was so good.
Yeah, no, he's out. He's making some shit on his own now. He's not at Firaxis.
Oh, he's out of Firaxis entirely. Okay.
Yeah.
When Gamescom soon, right? Next week.
It's pretty soon. Yeah, I don't remember when exactly it is, but I know it's coming up because we're in the realm of people just saying like, "Come see us at Gamescom." So I know it's coming up.
August 21st.
Okay, because we're gonna get to see all that. There's a bunch of Civ 7 stuff getting shown.
The new Civ reveal is on August 20th.
Yeah, that's right.
I cannot wait for that because it's not on my list, but I will say I've been playing a lot of Civilization. This kind of started yesterday, so it didn't get added, but I've been playing a lot of Civ.
Yeah, there's your turn-based.
And I'm really eager for a new Civ game because I think the current Civ is a little bloated at the moment.
I turn off the last two big expansions. I don't like.
Yeah, I kind of think I need to start doing that too. Like, I was kind of rocking and rolling on it, and then it felt like every turn, even though I don't have I have disasters on like a 2 and it goes up to like a 4 or a 5. And it felt like every other turn it's like, well, the floodplain's flooded. You go repair your town again. It's like, why is this happening so much?
It's my least favorite aspect of any RTS or city builder of any kind. If I can, I turn off disasters. I hate them. They drive me crazy. Yeah. And I know some people love that stuff. It's like an RNG you don't control and you're just at the whim of the elements or whatever, but freaking... It's a video game. I don't want to live in real weather. You know what I mean?
But I mean, like, it's still solid. Like, Poland surprise warred me, and I was like, Poland stepping up. And she kept trying to get peace too, because she sent a wave of people to try and take my town. I wiped it out immediately, and then I marched on her door. But I didn't have a huge army. I just was able to hold her off well enough. And she constantly was like, "Can we have peace?" I was like, "Yeah, give me that town that you settled right next to my border, and I'll give you peace." She's like, "I can't give you a town." I was like, "War continues." And it just kept going. I finally took the town, and as soon as I took the town, she's like, "Can we please have peace now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I got the town I wanted."
Yeah,
we go. Peace ourselves a Putin over
here.
And now she denounces me constantly. She's like, "So bad." She sprung the war on me. We were living in peace. She just attacked me out of nowhere and was like, "Haha, you got to be ready all the time."
Well, she ate those words eventually.
Yeah.
History catches up to the villains.
Civ AI is notorious for being,
Yeah, and then Genghis Khan attempted the same thing too, but let me tell you, spoilers, I didn't really trust Genghis Khan. I was kind of keeping my eye on him. The only reason Poland caught me off guard was because all my forces were to the north being like, you keep acting real nice, but you also keep checking out my military. I think something's up.
Yeah, I don't think Genghis Khan, by default, should be in a position of untrustworthiness. So you made the right choice.
He's got a reputation for sure.
Yeah.
And guess what? Big shock. Surprise warred me too. I'm around 2 surprise warriors, and they're all denouncing me like I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, like it's all your fault. What a load.
Yeah.
All right. What else did you get up to?
Just fairly quick. Spent more time in Final Fantasy 14. Nothing really new to say there. Kind of same deal in No Man's Sky. Update continues to be good. And it is in the news, but I'll go ahead and just include it right here. I'll talk real quickly about Fortnite because Fortnite had a really weird issue and then reaction. And then maybe the weirdest overcorrection I've ever seen a company do. It's really bizarre. So Fortnite recently put a skin up on the store that was one of the, hey, buy this because we're never going to put it in the store rarity skins.
Okay.
Now, let me just say.
They've done that before, right? That's not new.
It has happened from time to time.
Okay.
But let me just to be crystal clear out here. You can't sell your Fortnite account. You can't resell your skins. You can't do skin trading with people. It has no intrinsic value. I think the concept of rarity of a digital skin in a game that means absolutely nothing is 0, and I think it should be absolutely fine for them to sell these skins if they want to. That's my hot take. It's not an achievement that you spent money on it back in the day when it was out. Stop being precious about it. But regardless, they did tell people they weren't going to resell the skin. And there it was up on the store. believed to be an accident. I heard about it. I bought it.
Okay.
Because I wanted to find out what would happen. Because this doesn't have a huge precedent. Like, things have been cycled back in. They have said that they're going to be a little more willing to do that in the future. This was not considered to be listed. It was believed that it was an error. And sure enough, within, I'd say, an hour of the store updating, it got pulled from the store.
Oh.
So that you couldn't buy it anymore.
Did you get refunded, or how'd they handle that?
So here's where the weird reaction of Epic comes from. So they go, oops, they pull it from the store. Then players are mad. They're like, people got to buy a skin that you said we would have. So Epic said, okay, here's what we're going to do. Anybody that bought it, we're going to take it out of their inventory and refund their credits. And then I'm sure people who bought it went, you can't take that. I bought it. And that's what I got the credits for. You can't take that from me. So before they took any skins away from people who bought it, they said, oops, sorry, we're not going to take the skin away from you. You can keep it. We're going to give people who had it originally a new color variant as a way of going like, oh, you got something special. You're still a little snowflake. And here's the part that's really weird. The people who bought it, we're going to refund you the purchase, but you get to keep the skin.
Why?
I don't know. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. And when I found out that's what happened, and it is what happened, they refunded me the purchase and I still have the skin. I was like, why did this happen this way? It is the most bizarre thing I've ever had. So because I very quickly purchased the skin that wasn't supposed to be in the store, I have gotten it for free now.
So, but hold on. Did they, I mean, the outcry must have been intense, or else why would they do that? I don't understand. It had to have been, it had to have been like rabid animals or something.
I play Fortnite, but I don't want to socialize with the Fortnite crowd.
Yeah, I'll bet that's what happened though. I'll bet the full brunt of the loudest part of the player base probably just lost their shit. And
I mean, I'm sure, like, look, hey, kudos to them. I'm calling it bizarre, but that's certainly a much more positive interaction than we're going to yank the skin away because we told you something you weren't supposed to have. Like, absolutely, that's a better way to handle it. I think the way that they are ultimately handling it is pretty good. Like, you know, give people something that makes what they bought back in the day feel more unique and let people who bought something keep it. But the refund thing was just really weird. I guess that's a refund for the frustration they caused me, and maybe for me, it's just because I don't care. I didn't buy the skin because I really wanted it. I bought it because it was like a shitty thing that happened. Like, and I thought it would be funny to see what happened. And I was like, well, this will be something we can talk about on Core.
Yeah, and now you have a skin. You got a skin and refunded credits or whatever they call it, PayPals or what are they called?
Yeah. They gave me more Fortnite bucks.
Just bucks? Is that all they're called?
I think they're called V-Bucks.
V-Bucks, that's it. V-Bucks. Vagina bucks. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was able to go buy a different skin with it then after that.
Damn, dude.
You have this, it's just basically an ultra rare skin at this point, right? Like
it will be, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just gotta wear that all the time.
Yeah. Well, and when they do the other skin with the variant color, what is it now? What's the color now?
It has a few different styles, but it's like white and gray and black and stuff like that.
Okay. So but in theory, when someone else buys the future skin, you'll look at it and know that you've got the cool one, right? Like,
no, I don't have the cool one.
Oh.
People who bought it back in the day will have the cool one, like whatever color they had.
Gotcha.
They'll get the cool back.
I mean, overall,
like, again, I don't care either way.
How do you feel overall, though? Well, I think I know how you feel, but this digital item scarcity thing, especially in a game where you can't sell items and you can't sell your accounts, like you said, it just seems weird to me that that's still a thing. It's like the Disney vault, you know?
It's really stupid Like, and they even call it not for skins, but they call it for weapons and stuff. Like, because they cycle weapons in Fortnite so often, they call it vaulting it. Like, oh, this weapon's getting put in the vault.
Like the Disney Vault. I hate it.
Yeah. And for weapons and stuff that's in the game, like, that makes a little more sense. Like, we did a Transformers event, so the cannon where your arm turns into Optimus Prime's cannon and shoots Transformers goo everywhere, like, that being vaulted when the Transformers event is over, like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that I don't mind. Skin scarcity is always really weird to me. I kind of don't mind the rotating store. Like, that doesn't bug me too much. But I do think we're at a point now where you should be able to play any battle pass that has ever existed. I think for me, the way Fortnite should work is when a new season starts, you should be able to pick from the entire history of battle passes that they've done and say, for this season, I want to work on this battle pass. I don't think it should be oh, well, that battle pass happened years ago and that stuff's gone. It's just not available anymore. I think the idea of limited time battle passes is the thing that bugs me the most about it, because there's just no reason for it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that, if you're going to buy a battle pass, I think you should be able to buy from the full history of battle passes and just earn XP towards whichever one you want. And I don't think it should be timed, and I think you should be able to just plug away at it. So
it gives people a sense of, I don't know, like urgency. I know why they do it. It's psychological.
Yeah.
But
yeah. There's a money making reason for it. I just think that it's a little unnecessary, and
especially digital, like limited physical things makes perfect sense to me from a production standpoint, logistics, all of it. Like, I'm only making 15 of these vinyl records. That's all there ever be. We're not making more. Or if we do, it's because demand is outsized my willingness or whatever. But you still have like this limitation of, I can only make so many, or I will only make so many. And it's not artificial. But with digital, it's completely artificial. It's like, there's no server so full of this shit that it's like, oh, we don't have room. I was like, yeah, you do. You have all the room that you ever needed. So, yeah.
And I did see someone in chat, Briartone, said limited time stuff is probably locked behind licensing deals, right? Deals that aren't available in perpetuity. I don't think that is actually the case, because most of this stuff still gets cycled back through. So you'll log in one day and it's like, hey, great, look, here's, Pirates of the Caribbean one day, and here's Pirates of the Caribbean, Dragon Ball Z, and Ninja Turtles all on the same page at the same time, even though those are well in the past, well and gone. So maybe, but also those character models still run around in the game. It's not like, oh guys, we aren't licensed to put Master Chief in the game anymore. Everybody who has a Master Chief skin, it's gone now.
Right.
So I don't think that. I think they have the right to put their assets in the game, and I think putting the battle pass up where it's like, oh, this was a battle pass that existed at the time, people can earn XP and unlock that stuff. I don't think there would be any issues with that. Yeah. And if they can navigate the crazy world of music rights, which is what they're doing now, because they have a Rock Band style mini game, and you can go in and unlock music even for your Fortnite lobby. Like, I log in and Call Me Maybe plays while I'm in the lobby. Like, if they can manage the musical rights for Call Me Maybe, they can pull off a, like, hey guys, Bumblebee's in the store again.
Yeah.
I think that's something that they can figure out. So
yeah. Skin licensing is one thing, but it's all workoutable with the right money. the right deal.
And they have it. Apparently, they have enough to where they just arbitrarily gave everybody some free money for buying a skin that they put up for sale.
Yeah, so. Weirdos. So weird.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Fortnite. It's been an okay season. The season's coming to an end. I know for a fact. I already saw what's on the store today. I'm gonna spend more money on Fortnite.
What's in there?
They put new X-Men stuff in there, and they put my favorite character from Dragon Ball Z in there.
Hold on, let me guess. Best character in Dragon Ball Z, that weird-looking green dinosaur turtle-looking guy. with the cape?
No, that's Piccolo. I don't like Piccolo.
You don't like Piccolo?
He's okay. He's okay. He's just not my favorite.
I don't know any other names.
I would probably say he's maybe my second favorite Dragon Ball Z character.
I do like. I know Roku, Piccolo. That's I think or not Roku.
Do you like Roku because he brings you whatever digital entertainment you feel like watching?
That's right. All the apps run really well on Roku. What's his name? Grogu. No, that's Yoda Jr. What is it?
Goku.
Goku. Shit. Frick. I'm not a Dragon Ball guy. I just don't know this stuff.
No, I know it's fine. No, my favorite character is probably Vegeta, followed by his son Trunks, and Trunks just got added.
It's Vegeta.
Trunks.
Vegeta.
Yeah, Vegeta.
That's like.
It's dangerously close to vagina. You're
yeah,
you're not wrong.
I was thinking Velveeta.
Vegetable.
Yeah, vegetable or some Velveeta
like
cheese.
Vegetable spread.
Yeah, because all the Dragon Ball characters have names kind of based on a thing. So all the Saiyans have vegetable names.
This is the guy with the
vegetable. Goku's Saiyan name is Kakarot, which is carrot.
Yeah, of course.
All of Vegeta's kids' names have to do with underwear. His wife's Bulma, which I think that's something. I think that's bloomers, right?
So
he's got a kid named Trunks.
Yeah.
There's another kid named Bra, I believe. She's not in it very much.
Her name is Bra.
Yeah, there's Vegeta.
Yeah, that's Vegeta. Now Vegeta, I know
he's on Beau's head right now.
I know Vegeta. I have seen Vegeta. I just didn't know his name. So Vegeta and I are now best of friends, and I have no problem remembering him now. Everything's fine.
Yeah, great.
That's great. Yeah, but John, they know the key to your heart is really.
They do. It's certain very specific licensing deals in a game that I like. Yeah. Before anybody's like, you didn't play Transformers Overwatch, and in a game that I like, you'll get me.
It's too late now because that's done.
Yeah, it's over.
Oh man, that didn't last very long.
That was quick. Why so? Well, probably licensing.
I feel like we just talked about it.
Yeah,
I think it's dumb. I actually have been playing Overwatch, and no Transformers skin for me to blow my money on. Thanks for saving me money, dum-dums.
So wait, what?
Oh my God.
Did it only last for? Let's see here.
It was like a month, if not that much. I know we talked about it very recently, but it's probably been about a month.
July 30th. So
I'm in there, and I'm like, if there was one thing I'd probably blow my money on, like without any hesitation, it'd be some Transformer skins. Where are they? They're gone.
Yeah, they
didn't. 16 days ago.
Yeah, they 30th. They launched on the 30th, so it's not even been like half a month. Wow.
Yeah. What's going on? What's going on? Get some. Put thinking caps on, please.
Yeah.
Like people want to buy your shit if you take it off the store.
I don't even want to be.
I log in to play it, and you just advertise the shit out of it.
I don't even like Reinhardt, but I want Optimus Prime heart. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't see why. I think that scarcely does. That works when you're like the it thing. Then you can, you have everyone over a barrel and people will jump when you say how high. Mm-hmm. But like,
they're not the.
I'm gonna log into your game when I feel like it. Like have this shit available ready for me to buy when I get in there.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Transformers. We just watched Transformers.
No, I should thank them because now I saved like $50. I'm sure.
Oh well, then there you go. We just watched Transformers 1 from 2007 on FilmSack, and I thought of you guys the whole time because there's a lot of
the first live action.
Yeah, there's a lot of busted shit in that thing. There's things that are just wrong.
I watched the fourth one.
I haven't seen anything but the first. I've never seen the others.
I don't. It was one with Mark Wahlberg. I think it was maybe the second one with Mark Wahlberg. He was in two of them, right?
I think its third movie would be that one if it's his second. Because
he only in one?
Damn it. Now I don't know. I just know the one where he goes, I think I found a Transformer. That's the only one I know.
I think that's his first one that he's in.
Yeah.
I think he did two, right? Or am I crazy?
Mark Wahlberg? He did two.
Okay, so I watched the second one with Mark Wahlberg in it. I could not believe how bad that movie was. Like, I didn't see all of it, but oh my goodness, like somebody with the camera, they're like, we don't need to worry about if we have good action or not. I will just shake the camera enough to where people will believe action is happening. It was agonizing to watch.
Okay, so I'm only seeing he's in one.
Oh, maybe he's only in one, Age of Extinction.
Is he only in one? Well, wait, yeah, it is Age of Extinction. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, you know what that tells me? I thought I had seen that whole movie, and apparently I had not. So I saw it, and I was like, well, I didn't see this one.
This has such an amazing cast, though. You got Stanley Tucci, Kelsey Grammer, Titus Welliver. I love him. Other people. Richard Reel.
John Goodman plays Hound.
Yeah, great voice for Hound. Yeah.
He
doesn't look great.
I don't like
None of the Transformers look good, but it's a great
everything
voice
with the
for
live
Hound.
action ones. Like most of it's a travesty anyway. It's like it's not just Wheeljack. Hound was off. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's like
I feel like I need to see him just so I can be done and say I've seen them. You know,
if Michael Bay Shockwave was purple instead of silver, it would actually be a decent Shockwave.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. They spend all this time gussying up the good guy ones, and like everybody that's the Decepticon is like gray, and they have red eyes. You know, it's like, come on, man. Have you not watched the cartoon? What's wrong with you guys?
Well, did they ever do shit? What am I thinking of here? A Soundwave. Does Soundwave ever happen, or just?
Yeah, Soundwave's in Bumblebee. Well, I don't know. I think he might be in one of the Michael Bay ones I didn't see. I think
it's definitely
for
not
some
the
reason
first.
I remember Soundwave being a satellite dish.
Oh.
Or a satellite in space.
Because the first movie, there's a little rat dude running around that can turn into a boombox, and I thought that was what they were going to try to do, is say, well, that's kind of our Soundwave for a modern movie, and I hated it.
They've messed it up. It's name a Transformer, and they messed it up.
Until Bumblebee, where they then got it all correct.
I loved that movie.
Yes.
Bumblebee was great.
10 seconds of film time,
and then they ruined it with the next movie. Rise of the Beast went back to trash.
I don't know what happened there.
I cannot tell you how many times, like, I see it in chat, Neon Knight, I hate the design of Starscream in those movies, except in Bumblebee, where they somehow took his weird Dorito-shaped design, put the right color scheme and face on him, and he looked awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he looked so good that it is the best version of so many of those looks.
Yeah.
And then it just disappears for some reason. They were like, well, let's never do that again.
So what's crazy is the guy that directed Bumblebee is a animator by profession. So his other directorial, he's only directed 2 movies. He's got some coming up. He did Bumblebee, great. Kubo and the Two Strings, amazing movie.
I love Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yeah.
That movie is so good.
He's like an animator, trained animator, and he's got a bunch of other stuff coming up. But like, I thought he would continue with the series because he knew how to get the story right. Like all that shit was good.
Yeah, like listen to this from the Wikipedia. There's a Wikipedia list of Transformer film series cast and characters. Right, so Soundwave.
Yeah.
In the movies, voiced by John Bailey in Bumblebee, Frank Welker in the films.
Yeah.
It's too much detail, all right? But I just want to say, in Dark of the Moon, Soundwave transforms into a silver Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. Like, talk about not giving a single shred of shit about the toy movie you're making.
Yeah. No, he really took liberties.
What a scourge.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the Transformer, although probably.
Is there a Scourge? There's one called Scourge?
Yeah, he's in the most recent one, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, Scourge is depicted as like a leader. Scourge is a Galvatron henchman, but whatever. Anyway.
He gets defeated by a guy having a car transform into a suit of armor for him.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, they had Iron Man is in the new Rise of the Beasts.
Iron Man? Like literally Iron Man?
They have their own version of Iron Man. Yeah, they give a human an Iron Man suit. Like,
Great.
you're Transformer 2 now, man.
Great.
You know,
they talk all jive like that.
And they played like 5 different classic hip hop songs during the final battle, which irritated me to no end. The vibe is just off. I'm listening to Biggie and the Transformers are fighting. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Have you not watched the cartoon?
Yeah. I do have some questions, though, about Megatron. This is probably not the place for it, but I woke up with this thought. I woke up going, everyone else comes to Earth. In the film or even in Gen 1, there's allusions to how this works. They come here, they're in their form that they were on Cybertron, but they come down here and they're like, well, we need to blend in, so I'm going to be that sports car. I'm going to be the semi-truck. You be the airplane, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
did Megatron go, somebody find me a Walter PPK pistol?
He's watching
Teletran
James
1.
Bond.
Teletran 1 decided.
Yeah, but
like the ship's nav computer, whose like expertise is questionable. Like really, like it's not like it's the Primus decided on your form. The ship computer was like, "Hey, here you go. It's not. You're not meant to take the robots in disguise part seriously. The whole cartoon, they literally make messes everywhere. They go to Burma and blow up a mountain. They go to like an oil rig and like mess it up. Like everything, as if the world would ever believe, like ever. This is never a stealth show.
I feel like Soundwave is the only one who was ever doing stealth in that show, and he did it all the time.
Yeah,
and his was always so funny. He's like, "I'm a lamppost."
Yeah. I'm a Walkman.
Like, I'm a cassette player.
Yeah, somehow
and
I've
he
shrunk
had to
down.
shrink so much to become a cassette player. This massive robot turns into something you just put in your pocket.
This is zero sense in any of that shit, but I love it.
Definitely, you could probably get away with not being detected in human spaces when they transform, but like, eventually they transform, and Megatron blows a hole in something, so the jig is up within 20 seconds every time. Like it's
and they revealed themselves pretty quickly too to the world to be like, "Hey, here we are."
It just doesn't deal with that whole adult like, oh, there's aliens and this has huge global. Like, I wouldn't even, if I was making the live action movie, I wouldn't even bring it up. It doesn't come up in the cartoon. Don't worry about just worry that Spike likes them and they're friends, and like, don't worry about the rest.
What's the problem with the whole series is that they worry about that. They think, well, our audience
is... Well, it's that realism thing. We like that aesthetic for like superhero movies, right? Like, oh, Iron Man, like Robert Downey Jr. is really portraying him as like a billionaire dickhead who actually has a real change. Like, oh, this story's so human. And it has like global and wide-reaching consequences, like even Captain America and the Winter Falcon or whatever that show was, dealt with the fact that there was a segregation between people who had come back and didn't have a country to be a part of, right? Like it's dealing with global, real-world topics. It's a metaphor for what's going on in our world now. Don't do that to Transformers. It's big giant robots shooting the shit out of each other. Let's have a good time. Like I don't need global politics. And it's always like, the Secret Service knew about Megatron for 50 years. It's like, no, let's not do it. Like that storyline's dumb. Like
you do need to read that the new comic book, Beau. I think you would really, really like it.
I want to read it.
It would get me and my taste for it.
I think it would. I mean, like the little details that they do. I geek out about it. Like one of my favorite details. Here's a minor. It's not a super major plot spoiler, but like Optimus Prime in that comic book is running around with Megatron's arm.
Oh, wait, his
like
gun
he
arm?
doesn't. He
as a flail, or
how he has the Megatron has a gun arm.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime is using that as his arm.
So what happened? Where's Megatron during his?
We don't know.
Oh,
but we know that Optimus had his arm, and when he needed an arm, that was the arm he chose. He's like, hold on, I need an arm, I got one, because like the comic is
Tarantino's Transformers.
The comic's leaning very heavily into the idea that they don't have enough energy to do things. So Teletran 1 needs energy to restore Transformers. It doesn't have enough energy to bring people back. So like they bring back why can't I think of his name? He's great. One of my favorite ones. He's got the fins on the side of his head that light up, and they made him a stupid. No, they made him a stupid bus in the last Transformers movie.
Wheeljack?
Wheeljack.
Yes, Wheeljack. So Wheeljack, they only had enough energy to bring back Wheeljack's upper torso. So he's just an upper torso and a weird little robot body to do work to help them out with maintenance, and it's a while before they have the material
that has precedent. At one point, I think Optimus Prime was just his head in a pedestal for a little while in the original Marvel comic run.
Oh,
too,
really?
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So that stuff's really, it's been really fun to see, and it makes the quest for Energon actually interesting, because it's like, oh, there's stakes for this because they have people that are, they have their people that are hurt. They could theoretically bring them back, but they don't have the resources to do it. So suddenly you care about them getting Energon. It's not like they just landed there and went, oh, we need Energon. Why? Shut up. Because that's what we're doing. What we're here.
No need a big analysis here. It's just robots fighting, and they have personalities. We like them, and
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm a fan regardless.
Is that the one with the Great Secret Society, the Mark Wahlberg one too, or is that there's an Anthony Hopkins one where?
No, I think that's the one that follows it. I think that's the last night.
There's like some secret society that's known about Transformers for thousands of years.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's like Da Vinci Code shit, and I'm like, oh my god,
you see, when they built the pyramids, they were really building a Transformer.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shit like that. It's so dumb.
I actually really, really hate everything you've just said. And I didn't know that was a thing. I probably will catch up on all that at some point because I just feel like, hey, if you haven't seen all the Transformers movies, I can't really complain, but I'm sure they're all as bad as everyone says. By the way, this guy here, you won't see him for a sec because you guys are lagged on the stream, but this is my favorite Transformer, whatever he's doing, whatever he's got going on.
I forget his name. I saw him. You posted him or something, didn't you?
Yeah. The big thing is he's excited to be here.
Oh, he's stoked.
I know that's not Hoist. His name's not Hoist.
It's not Hoist?
It should be. It's not.
I mean,
it should either be Hoist or Boner.
He's one or the other. I mean, he's one of those. He's a Constructicon, though, right?
That's one. No. This looks like an Autobot to me. Just Constructicons or Decepticons.
Primus Erectus says Ben.
Oh no, his name is Erector, isn't it?
Is it Erector?
Is it Erector?
Shut up.
There is an Erector Transformer. Here's a link to the.
Shut up.
Yeah, it's Erector, but I don't think it's him because he doesn't have that thing.
Okay.
Maybe somebody did some creative Photoshop.
There's an Autobot Micromaster Erector.
Well, he is that indeed.
There's nothing micro about him.
Yeah. I mean, look at him out there just saying to the whole city, check it out.
Maybe Erector has that. I don't know.
It makes sense. He could erect things, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some concerning gifts in here. I'll shut this now.
Yeah, be careful. You know what I discovered? Just one last thing before we get off Transformers that we definitely. By the way, that's the game we're talking about. I saw some people say, "What game?" The game of watching Transformers.
Yeah, it's a skill. You need to have skill.
It's skins. There's skins in Fortnite. There's skins in Overwatch.
Yeah, there you go. Skins everywhere.
That's how we got here, guys.
I discovered on Amazon that there is literally a channel in the live TV section of Amazon Prime that's just called Transformers.
Yep.
And they just go through different versions of the cartoon and is just Transformers all the time.
Yep.
And boy, do I love that channel exists.
Van's favorite channel. He loves it. Just turns it on, sits there, hates the commercials, yells at the TV when they're on. Can't wait for him to come back. He's way into it. Well, John, you've done, you still had some stuff on here. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. I'll just mention real quick, because people have gifted me stuff and I always feel bad when I don't turn around and play it. So I am about to do a gifted game marathon to get to Noctuary, I think is how you say it, which was a gift from Xanthanarium. Galacticare was also another gift from Shatterproof. Cool game. I haven't played that yet. And still waiting in the wings from Sean Easton, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. I'm going to get to those. I've been deep in Path of Exile. That's another reason why I might have to pump the brakes on it a little bit, is to get to these games that were gifted. So, but I haven't forgotten about them. I keep putting them on the list so that I will continue to remember, and I'll get there soon.
Galacticare is awesome. It's like a galactic version of Theme Hospital, except you're in space.
Nice.
Yeah, or like 2 Point Hospital. It's very good. I have that one as well. All right, Beau. You beat Like a Dragon. You said last week you were going to beat it that night. Did you beat it Thursday?
Yeah. Yep, I did. It was, I just had to do some more. I wanted to finish the bucket list for Kiryu and get through to the end of the game. So, yeah, I pretty much beat it that night. And I don't know if how much of a spoiler discussion we want to do, because I know that, John, you don't... or Scott, you haven't really played it, and it's like one of these things where how deep does it go? But
I haven't played Infinite Wealth at all. I played the last one quite a bit, but not this new one.
Like a Dragon and The Man Who Erased His Name were like super big high points, right? So this one, its review was still pretty high, but not as high, and I can kind of see why. It feels like they got another game in them, and they're saving shit. So one of the big things is like you're looking for your mom. And I really felt like there wasn't a lot of resolution on that front with the story. Like you kind of got he got concerned with beating up the bad guys. And they did a really good job bringing that, with the reveals and stuff. Like all that was like pretty classic Yakuza, good stuff. But just when it came to the ending, it felt a lot lighter. The first entry in Like a Dragon is just loaded with story, not just story, but like reveals and twists of fortune or reversals of fortune. There's just a lot going on. And this one has it's making connections, but it still feels like a whole lot of setup, basically. And even the whole Kiryu thing, it's like gotta find out what happens in the next episode of Yakuza, because you don't get a definitive answer. I know it's spoilers. You stop listening now. You're not gonna get a definitive answer about his cancer and what's going on with that. Even the villain. One of the villains you beat obviously comes to a conclusion. Another villain you beat, no idea the outcome of what's going on there. Clearly, he's coming back for another installment at some point. That kind of thing. Like they were like, "Oh shit, we gave people too much story in the first one. We gotta withhold some of it." Which is where I kind of get to the part where I'm kind of pissed about this game a little bit with the New Game Plus. So this had a lot of controversy because they sold the New Game Plus separately.
That's right. The 10, 15
I don't
want
to play this game again. Yeah, I liked what they did the first time around. They gave you a dungeon, like a really hard dungeon to work on at the end. You didn't have to play the game over again. They had an option to play the game over again, but you didn't have to level up and to go through it. That was completely its own separate thing. This one has this whole other dungeon that you can't get to unless you're playing New Game Plus, for example. This big sewer swell or something like that. And I'm like, it's a pretty long game. I don't want to sit through it a second time. It's a real asshole move. So I think even though the last half is still very good and I still enjoyed it a lot, it's not going to bring you the nice conclusions or the cathartic experiences of the first two. So I enjoyed it and I'm ready for the next installment, I guess is what I'd say. I liked it. It was worth my time, but yeah, there's more story to go, and this doesn't bring up any crazy revelations. Is that about right for you, John?
Yeah, I'm about there where I kind of walked away from it going, this was good, but it felt less good.
Yeah.
And I think that I probably felt very similarly. I think it was a little unfulfilling at the end. And yeah, I don't know. It just felt like it was missing a little bit of that extra tightness to the story that felt like it was so much present in the previous one, where everything just felt interconnected, sometimes in ridiculous ways, but it was just so satisfying when it all came to a head. It was some of this is crazy coincidence, but at the same time, it felt complete and it felt really good. And I just felt like this lacked a little bit of that. And it just sort of felt like, oh, it's over.
Right. Yeah. You brought a lot of people together. I don't know what happened to Sunny and Jungi Han. They're there to help you. And Jia, you get a bit of their story, but they've got nothing to do with anything. Whereas they were all involved in the plot in a more connected way, not just they're helping you and stuff. So that's fine. But then the personal story, like I said, that you met his mother, and it's just they didn't deal with it at all, barely. That whole aspect was really just glossed over. And while the ending was kind of fun, I definitely enjoyed that there's a music video at the end where he's getting beat up. It was very enjoyable and fun. It really didn't just do a lot. So I liked it. I recommend it if you're into Yakuza. It's definitely not the high point of the series, I would say. Although it's welcome to go to Hawaii. That's the other sort of grievance, is the last level. They got to start putting some effort in their dungeons, because I don't want to play the third installment and have to go up Millennium Tower a third time.
Yeah.
I know the Millennium Tower is kind of a meme, and Yakuza reuses its scenery all the time. But it just, you're leveling up, you're going through dungeons. I just need a bit more inspiring.
But this time there was a helicopter, Beau.
Well, the helicopter was cool, but no. And I think even Ebina as a villain was not as compelling as Ryuoki. They really
he wasn't. Ryu. Yeah, everything felt a little bit. Like, that's the thing. I think that's ultimately where I think it was missing. Because, again, it's good, and I don't want to sound like I'm dragging it too hard, but everything felt slightly less than it was the time before.
Yeah. The only thing that was really sad was the Doji guy, getting...
Yeah, that bummed me out, especially because I liked him so much in The Man Who Erased His Name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, playing both sides, but he was partial to Kiryu and stuff.
You guys are good at remembering these people's names. I'm impressed.
I've spent a lot of hours in it, man. Kiryu Kazuma, Ichiban Kazuga, Kiryu Kazuma.
Kazuma.
And anyways, sorry, I said two names like it was something to brag about.
I remember both of them.
But no, you get to know those names. You know what the best part, my favorite part of the whole thing was Yamai.
Yes. It was like, and I thought he was going to be the worst character. When I saw the trailers, I was like, oh my God, who is this edgelord character? Like, this character is going to be the worst. And then he showed up so many times that I was like, this character is going to be the worst. By the end, favorite character of
you fight this guy a bunch of times as a boss, and then people like really hate him. But then Ichiban's like, no, he's a good guy, man. And you're like, what? Why do you keep fighting him? He's like, I have a lot of respect for him. He's really Yakuza. And then you kind of get it. He's got that stereotypical like pride. He'll help people, but he'll never admit to being nice or helping people. He's just like he's got a scarred past of that you eventually find out of. And that's when Yakuza is its best, when you have these tortured characters that you kind of hate. But then you kind of get why they're like that, and then they're like really Japanese about it. And you're like, oh, this is awesome. Wow. So Yamai was like my favorite, and he's still kicking. So I'm like, I'm sure we'll be seeing some. I mean, maybe he'll be on our team like for real as a playable character. Hopefully Tomizawa doesn't come back. I liked him, but I had my fill of that guy, the cab driver.
Yeah, he wasn't my favorite either.
He's a bit weaselly. I don't want him on my team. That much. But anyways, good game. And when I got done, I didn't want a new game plus, but I still felt like playing Yakuza.
Yeah.
So I bought Yakuza 1, and I've been playing Yakuza 1, which it's a remake of 1 in a more recent engine.
Yakuza Kiwami, how do you say it? Is that right?
Yeah, Kiwami. That just means it doesn't, I don't know if it translates to remake. It's just Yakuza 1 remake. Like, just think of it. Yeah, so it's not the original PS2 or 3 or whatever old ass game. It's in the more modern engine. Same engine, I think, as Yakuza 0.
All right. Did it feel though like you were playing an ancient?
It still feels like an older game. Like they still preserve like the it's more janky. Going from Infinite Wealth to this feels like I'm going back in time and playing a worse game, but it's like still updated so it looks nice enough, I guess. Like the facial animations and stuff are still pretty good for the storytelling.
Yeah.
Very funny thing to note about Yakuza Kiwami is it feels very much like The Man Who Erased His Name. Like, kind of like now that I'm playing this one, I'm like, oh, Man Who Erased His Name feels like it's obviously a different story, but it's still very much like it's just about Kiryu, and they're both shorter games, and he can't go back to Kamurocho in that one. So he goes everywhere, every other map they've ever developed, except for Kamurocho. So it's like Kiryu and Kamurocho. And it's like the original story, so I'm getting the Nishikiyama, like he's got a brother and a sister that he grew up in an orphanage together with, and he ends up taking the fall for his brother Akira and going to jail for 10 years, kind of like Ichiban's story a little bit. And the jail fight's kind of fun because you get to do some jail fights.
Jail fighting's fun. Why not?
Yeah, but then you're like, so this person who's your sister is like missing. And the brother's like got his own Yakuza family, and he's turned all evil, and a whole bunch of shit happens in 10 years, and things aren't the innocent way they remember them as being a young Yakuza, and it's like, oh, it's good. So I'm really loving actually playing Yakuza. I think I'm just full Yakuza fan. I think I'm going to eventually play all 6 of them.
You're pretty hardcore, man. Playing. What is Yakuza 0 as opposed to Yakuza 1? Isn't Zero a
Zero's
prequel?
like a pre-story before 1, basically.
Okay. Yeah,
but it was
a prequel that came out after the series.
Yeah, like I think technically it's Yakuza 7, maybe.
Okay.
But it's called 0 because it happens before. So like all these characters I've met in 0, but I haven't played in 1. I'm like, oh, I see what their original.
Because you played 0, right? You played 0, I think, didn't you?
I did play 0. It was the first one I played.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a hardcore fan of the series, I think.
Majima is a really funny character in this too because he's like a goofball. Like he just dresses up and just wants to fight you all the time. Whereas I only know him as a serious character with a backstory, but he's such a he gets beat up, and then one of his henchmen throws a knife at Kiryu, and Kiryu can't dodge in time, so Goro jumps in front of it. He's like, "You fool! I'm the only one that gets to kill Kiryu," and he beats up his own man. Like he's just he's psycho. Like he's just completely psycho. But it makes me appreciate him more because now I sort of understand the context a bit better. I don't know. It's enjoyable. So I've been playing that. Did you
real quick? Did you know? I'm just going to insert a news thing into this. They're making I didn't know they were doing this. They're making a Yakuza Like a Dragon series. I didn't know this.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. I hope it's good. I think they've made a TV show before, but it was utter trash and like 10 years ago or something like that.
I don't remember.
Apparently, it wasn't very good. So yeah, I have high hopes for this. Please be amazing. Please, please, please. And it's on Prime in a couple months.
Yeah, it's got
now.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, okay. Let me ask you this: is it mostly around the newer stuff, like a dragon?
I don't know when they're going to base it on, but they really should base it on Yakuza 1. Like it's really everything branches out of like the original storyline, right? So the family connections, all that kind of stuff. It's not like it's siloed story. It's like a soap opera. Like I just don't see making a movie about stuff 10 years into the lore and it making sense. It's like how they did Warcraft, right? Like they're not going to start with Lich King,
right? That's a good point.
They're going to start with Culling of Strathholm. Then you even go back. Where do you start? It's like, well, we got to start at the invasion, I guess.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
I don't know. I'm super stoked for it. The one thing, the observation I made though while playing this is it's really funny because I'm playing World of Warcraft too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And World of Warcraft, releases a new expansion. We got to have a new zone with new stuff to do. And this game is like, all right, we're going to release the same zone with the same characters. And these are like critically acclaimed. And I'm like, there's like a lesson to this somehow. Like, I don't know what it is, but like this notion that because I really like Yakuza and I don't need it or don't want it to be like, you want some new stuff, but it's okay that it's always in Kamurocho and it's like 5 years later. And it's just like, what is it about it in Yakuza that works that like other games like World of Warcraft always has to have like, and now we're in Bajinga's Balls, we're shrunk down, Warlords of Balsinger, and we're shrunk down and we're in the balls of this god and we got to fight in the balls of the god,
I think it's the story, I think it's the focus on the narrative and the characters. WoW has it, but it's not its strength. Like World of Warcraft is at its best, in my opinion, at least, when it focuses on the world. Yeah. Like, I don't... There have been times where World of Warcraft has tried to be Game of Thrones, specifically when Game of Thrones was very popular, and it's so hard for them to do. Like, they've come a long way on their cinematics, but, like, it doesn't change the fact that, like, there was a time when they're like, please take this cinematic very seriously, as a man floats into the air in a sitting position and a horse appears behind him or below him and then he rides off. And it's like, no, serious storytelling. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, World of Warcraft is supposed to feel like everything about that game is supposed to feel like a world that you want to go and have your adventure in, not a world that's going to tell a very specific story to you. It's important that it's kind of there, but it's not the point. And Yakuza for me is the setting is important, but it's about the setting is just like a vehicle to tell the story they want to tell.
Right.
And I think that plays to its strength, because if it was like, we're going to a new section of Japan, like, I don't think that would be the biggest selling point in the world. Like, it could be cool. You might be excited about it. Like, oh, I'm going to get to see a new...
it's really bad. Like, it's almost a meme. Like, every installment of Yakuza, you always go to the Tojo clan house around, like, the 33% completion mark. It's a bunch of Yakuza. Every time, like, I'm playing the first one, and Kiryu's like, I'm going to sneak into the funeral. And then you walk in, there's a bunch of Yakuza. Of course, somebody tries to assassinate you from the window, and then you just spend the next hour fighting thousands of Japanese dudes in black suits. Like, it's like, that's every game. And I'm like, I love it, but it's like, That's why I was saying, like, Millennium Tower. It's like, how many times do you go to the Millennium Tower and fight? Like, oh my god.
Has that been through the whole series, or is that a relatively new addition to the series?
What's that?
The Millennium Tower? Yeah. Has that been around
No,
forever?
it's a big deal. So Yakuza Zero's plot is about the real estate where the Millennium Tower is going to be built. Like some mystery person who's blind owns it, and all the Yakuza gangsters are after her because they want to take that and steal it and claim that spot. And then in Yakuza 1, I haven't really been introduced to the Millennium Tower, but they said, like, oh, by the way, that's the Millennium Tower. Like, it was built while you were in prison. So, like, the Millennium Tower is constantly there, and in the Ichiban game, it's used as the Final Fantasy VII meme. Like, you know, when Cloud looks up at the big Shinra machines, that iconic photo.
Mm-hmm.
So Ichiban is looking up. They do a spoof of the iconic photo when you go to the final level where he's looking up at the Millennium Tower. It's like I think the Millennium Tower might be the final level of every Yakuza game. I'm not sure yet, but I think if I play through them all, I'll tell you. I just thought there was an interesting lesson in that, because I think, like, your common knowledge is like, no, like, players are going to be bored if we give them the same thing. And John may be right. It may just depend on what the focus is, and it makes sense for Yakuza, or it doesn't make sense for a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still like, I just wonder. I don't think I have an answer or can make an opinion, but I just find it, like, interesting that you might play a ton of games and be like, when I get new content, it has to be new levels. And then here's this game that people love that is, like, never new level. It changes and it has variations, but it's a weird pleasure, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway.
Sure. Well,
anyways, that's
glad you're having enough fun in there. That's great. Overwatch. What's going on there with the Overwatch?
So just I played some Heroes on stream like Friday last week. I got a burn. I was like, I'm gonna play some Heroes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what's going on in Overwatch? I played Overwatch for a while, and I was waiting for Crofton to play some Tiny Tina.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play a shooter, but I didn't want to play Tiny Tina without him.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, Overwatch is a shooter. Why don't I just play some Overwatch? And I've been on a bender since Sunday. I've played like every day for multiple hours, like it's beta release. Like, I gotta tell you guys, Overwatch is a pretty fun game.
Yeah, I mean, it's
very enjoyable.
It's really good at what it is, isn't it? It's a very good thing. It's a very good team-based shooter where you do team-based shooter shit.
I'm in that zone where it's like all you want to do is play this game. Like, it just kind of came out of nowhere. I played a couple games and I'm like, this game is actually really fun. And I started off playing a lot of Ashe and Genji. But, now that I'm like raking in the battle pass points, I'm playing all the classes on all the roles. And I got to try a lot of new heroes, and a lot of new heroes are fun. Mauga is pretty cool. It really borderline makes very little sense. He has no armor, and he can just tank like thousands of bullets and stuff. Like, it's so ridiculous. But it's whatever. It's a video game. It's fun. That's what he does. There's some new supports in there that are pretty awesome. Ilari is like got a really cool gun.
Ilari. Can't picture it. I might be so behind I didn't know there was a new character named Ilari.
And there's like this guy, Lifeweaver, he doesn't even wear shoes. He's just barefoot. And he's got a big flower on his back. And he just makes a flower go up in the air, and he can life grip people. Like the WoW ability that Priest can do.
Yeah.
So I played one game and went, nope. I life gripped a bunch of people when it seemed really inconvenient for them. Like, they're in the middle of a fight shooting somebody and they're going to win. And I life gripped them back to me. And I was like, please don't be toxic. Please don't be toxic. I'm like, actually, I'm switching off this character. I'm switching off this character now. I fat fingered like life grip like 3 times. And I'm like, I'm going to get reported. I'm pretty sure this is the dangerous character to play. But he looks cool. I like the look of Lifeweaver. Who else is new? Kiriko, you've probably heard of. That's the Japanese healer lady who does, foxy abilities.
I can't.
Throws cards.
Oh, yeah. She was that.
Kiriko, she was like a BlizzCon announcement or something. You probably didn't miss her. Because, when Overwatch 2 launched, she was like the new hero.
Yeah, and you and I played quite a bit then, and I'm pretty sure we played her a bunch, if I remember right.
Yeah, so there's Kiriko, Mauga, Ilari, and I want to say there's one other new character, but I can't think of it at the moment. Oh, there's Venture.
Oh, tell me more about Venture.
It's this lady that has a big drill.
Okay.
And she shoots like AoE. She's a damage class. She shoots like rocks that blow up, I guess, in an area.
Yeah.
And then she drills underground, and then you can charge it up, and she bursts out of the ground and shoots people close up. That's pretty much it. She's like a ground-based excavator type hero. She's pretty cool, but I been enjoying Ash quite a bit.
Yeah, I see a lot of your replays and stuff are with Ash.
Yeah, Ash is like my favorite, but like I said, I've spread out. But Ash and Genji, Hanzo's fun. Anyways, it's Overwatch. It's a great game. I've been playing all week. I can't stop playing, and that kind of stopped my World of Warcraft play. I was like, well, I'm settled for War Within. I got time to play Overwatch now, and that's kind of all I've been doing.
Yeah, if you just want to get in and shoot shit, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I have stuff on my to-do list. I should be playing Cyberpunk. I won't finish that one, But it's just too much fun, man.
Yeah.
I have too much fun.
No, that's great. Tell us about...
That's all I got. I got to play Tiny Tina.
Oh, Tiny Tina. Yeah. Crofton's still, proper teammate.
We had a good time killing Smurfs. I kind of already told the story about that. Like every time, well, they're not Smurfs, they're Murphs.
Oh, right.
But every time, one of the Murphs would talk, like, we got to get Papa Murph. Oh, they all have Southern accents. They're like, hot diggity dog, we got to save us, the Murph family. And they're like, what a Murph and Murph hole. Like, they just, everything is like swearing, but they just say Murph, and it's all in I'm going to, shove my Murph off his Murph and Murph. And he laughs a lot, and then it makes me want to laugh a lot too, because I'm like, I don't know how funny this is. And I'm like, well, Crofton thinks it's hilarious.
Oh, I bet Crofton...
he listened to the show last week. He's like, I had a feeling you were going to talk about me, so I listened to your segment only.
He had a feeling...
and he thought it was... Yeah, just to hear what I would say about him. And then he thought it was a little unfair that I characterized him as either someone who only plays action games or Luigi's Mansion with his kids.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've got other tastes, he plays Zelda and stuff, but I just never talk about that side of him.
Yeah. He'll be okay.
I just said, well, I'll correct the record. I'm glad I thought of it. I'll correct the record and say, listen, guys, he likes to play God of War and Legend of Zelda too. All right, he's a real gamer. Right?
He's a real gamer.
Yeah,
I love this.
Just play kids games with his kids and then violent games with his friends.
That's fantastic. I love it. All right, well, that is it for what we played. That means that we're going to take a break. When we come back from this break, we have a couple more news stories, an email, a text. Who knows what else is coming up? Oh, a call. I have a call today about a Defendo movie. What?
Didn't we talk about the Defendo movie?
I actually had a question about that because I couldn't remember if we already played it. Did we? We might have.
Yeah, I think we did.
Was it this guy?
Memory of it? It's possible we did.
It is Zaxel, the history teacher, but
Yeah, we did. The history teacher guy. Never mind.
I think we talked about it on July 25th.
Yeah, we did. So never mind. That's not happening at all. But thank you again.
New call. Someone call in right now.
Call now.
Somebody call. Leave a message.
I got a bunch of
about Defendo. Is Defendo right for you?
I got a bunch of long ones, but they're too long for the main show. But yeah, keep sending your small calls in. Anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, all that stuff and more. Stay tuned. All right. Bringing it back.
AI clock?
It might be smarter if I did. All right, let's see here. Okay, we're back, everybody. Welcome back. Hey, John, how do you feel about Dear Martha? How does that sound?
Let's do one.
I came up with this one on my own.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
You didn't have to outsource it.
No.
You didn't have to outsource an improv prompt.
It also acts as a bit of news at the same time. Discord now has little mobile games embedded so you can play in your phone now right from Discord. And so I thought that'd be interesting to see what Martha's husband, way off into the, off fighting the good fight, would say when he finds out that you can play mobile games via Discord directly. Okay, so
all right,
let's do it. Here we go. I'll give you some music. Where is it? Shit, I'm in the wrong tab. Okay, here's the Ken Burns. All right, in 3, 2, 1.
My dearest Martha, I write to you in response to the Discord message you sent me. No, I haven't been hacked. I did invite you to play video games via Discord. It wasn't some attempt to get your protected information, Martha. I thought after these war-weary days, maybe we could do an activity together. And well, when people think of Discord, now they might think of gaming. That's right, Martha. Something that's never been done before, the ability to combine Discord communication and video games. A brand new concept, and certainly not the baseline reason that Discord even exists. You and I can now play bangers together, like kind of a golf game. And called Putt Party or Rhythm. A game about keeping rhythm.
Yeah.
How do you feel about farming, Martha? We could play a heated game of Farm Merge Valley. These are real games you can play right now on Discord. Your home for video games.
I'm sold.
Again, I know it probably seems like I'm trying to send you a virus. It's not. Click it. We'll play together. Top tier games. You can't use Discord for playing Helldivers 2 or Baldur's Gate 3 or some other video game with a number at the end of it. These are quality farming games together with your friends or loved ones. Let's do it, Martha. Soon and often. Yours in this life and the next. Bubble Party 7.
I was hoping you'd do a weird game name. Well done, of course. This is a real thing, by the way, so you can actually go start these games. I noticed that.
I know. I scrolled up to find out what they were called because the other day Scott just all of a sudden sends us an invite. Hey, you want to play Farm Merge Valley with me? I just wrote back to Scott, we farming? Because I just assumed he got hacked or something, and Scott's like, what is this? And then I thought he was definitely hacked.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, to this moment, I'm not entirely sure what these are for.
To my shame, I made the assumption that you were, because you try anything. You play lots of games that you got curious and wanted to play it, but then you don't even remember clicking it?
Not really. No, I remember... I remember clicking it, but I remember at the time clicking it going, well, what is it? What is this? Is this going to launch something outside of this? Is this for, I thought maybe it was for desktop and mobile just wouldn't do anything, but it's a little like the embedded Netflix stuff or YouTube has this. YouTube has embedded games. So I think this is them just trying to get in on that. I don't know why it's a big deal or why anyone gives a shit, but they give a shit.
I mean, they just shouldn't put it in here. This is dangerous. Like, what if you're in a meeting and you're trying to find a meeting game and you accidentally click a Discord game and they all know what you're like? So I found the button for it. There's also Crunker Strike FRBR.
Yeah.
Poker Night, Chef Showdown.
Yep.
Maybe these are good, but nobody talks about them, so I don't think so.
I think it just happened, so I don't think there's.
It just seems
do you use Watch Together?
Weird.
I think you can maybe play together.
For YouTube videos, there's a Watch Together. Create and watch a list of YouTube videos with your friends.
Really? On YouTube?
That's not a bad use, right? Like,
yeah,
I think we've all had to do the on the phone with somebody and go, okay, now 3, 2, 1, click it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're watching the video together. Like,
yeah.
So one of the things I know that they do, but you can even do in Discord, is like you're not allowed to like stream TV, right?
Right.
Supposedly.
On Twitch, but like if you're a streamer and you're like, okay, subs, come on over to my Discord, and you can stream it on Discord. It's not like,
oh yeah.
I'm sure you're not allowed to do that, but I know a lot of creators who like watch stuff with you in Discord, right? That's
I do it.
I think you can do.
Yeah,
it should be allowed. I'm just gonna.
Well, it is, and
hey, hot take. I think that should be allowed. I used to be able to invite people to watch movies with me all the time.
Yeah,
it should still be allowed on a global level.
Well, as far as I know, Discord, you can on Discord. Well, it's not policed there at all, like zero policing on Discord. So I don't think there's any reason why you couldn't.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have a YouTube. Like, you can definitely watch YouTube. There's looks like an official YouTube app to watch together YouTube. So I mean.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. Anyways, there's games on Discord. Everyone.
Yep.
Death by AI.
Yep. Check them out. They want to get.
Is that a game or is that just like a statement of our future?
It was like a warning.
Yeah. It's a survive deadly scenarios. It's an actual game.
Wow. All right.
Amazon Music. You can listen to music on Amazon with people.
Yeah. See, some of that's. I mean, I don't mind some of these integrations. I don't know why they're being so quiet about it. They barely. I found this out by accident, and we put our ears to to the gaming news, and I never heard a thing about Discord.
It just seems silly because I feel like it's serving a purpose that Discord's already used for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we're going to play WoW together. Everybody hop on Discord. You know, like, we're going to play this game together. It seems weird that Discord's like, you know what market we need to get in on? Playing games while talking on Discord. It's like, that's what we already use it for.
Right.
You know what's going on with Discord is that we love the service and they don't make money doing it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so, I mean that's true because they keep trying to tell me like they've even been trying to tell me like, hey, you want Discord Turbo for free? And I go, no, not really.
Not particularly.
I don't even want it for free. Yeah. Like, are you paying for Discord? It's like most people aren't probably.
No, I'm not. But... I feel like I should because I do. Obviously, I use it frequently, but like
I bought it for really bad reasons. I wanted to use super emotes. So now my emotes stand out more than other
people. You got all those fancy emotes. Yeah, I do it too. Yeah. I pay for it, but I mainly pay for it because supposedly I get better video, better audio, better whatever stuff. So I don't remember what the details were, but I just remember, I'll do that for $10 a month. That seems worth it. And it's been okay since. So
yeah,
we shall see. All right, getting to the actual news here. We got a few of these things. We now have the most critical Baldur's Gate 3 data ever. Kissing data. Also effing data, I think, is in this.
Great. Awesome.
The big winner here is your old pal Halson. He did.
I don't know if he's the big winner, but he definitely has a strong representation on the kissing chart.
Yeah, he did really well.
Both as a man and a bear.
He had the highest sex thing. 658,000 players had sex with him. 70% got down and dirty with his human form. 30% chose the bear. Oh, he chose the bear. But I'm sorry, that isn't the highest number. 1.1 million players got down with the Emperor. That's the dude with the, the thing, what is he? The guy with the tentacles. Can't think of his name. Or the name of the... Illithid, shit.
Mind Flayer.
63% of players chose Dream Guardian form. And then 37% discovered the sensual pleasure of Mind Flayer tentacles.
So, Beau, how does it feel to be an important part of that 37%?
Yeah. How does that feel?
Thumbs up.
Just a simple thumbs up
from me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, the audio listeners can't hear my thumbs up.
It's all right. We called it
thumbs up, everyone.
Then I will take the gun.
All those they put them all out on all their various socials, and I think their website has something too. But if you're curious about these infographics, go read them. It's not all sex and kissing; it's other things as well.
Most people seem to be going for Shadowheart, which feels real. I mean, Shadowheart's great.
She's the best.
I don't need to drag Shadowheart down to uplift anybody else, but
yeah,
it seems a little safe.
Your top 3 origin characters as avatars, meaning the person you started with and played the game, didn't make a custom one. Asterion with 1.21 million, 1.2 million went to Gale. Can't believe that.
Well, I think that's maybe just because people like
if you play as them,
mages.
Yeah.
If you play as them, I don't think you got to hear them. I don't like it because as the player character, your lines are never voiced. I think that's true.
That's true, yeah. Because I did that.
But Astarion is great, and Gale, I'm gonna just.
He's less than great.
Gale is stellar. Y'all are mean to Gale for no reason. He's fine.
Every time I went to camp, I'm going to explode if you don't give me some magic shit.
You didn't make it far enough in the game if that's a problem. That gets resolved so quickly.
Did it? Because it felt like it drug on for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Well, it's a long game, so it does take... You do have it to deal with, but I think I gave him maybe 5 items, and then...
Yeah, it's barely anything.
All right.
It's barely anything. Gale is fine.
Gives him the way to like chill out. Well, there's something we do that makes him chill out. Like Elminster helps him out.
Yeah, I think Elminster's the one who does it.
Well, Shadowheart
at the end of Act 1, but you could like when you know where it is, you can go and take care of it. I think probably pretty quick.
Yeah. Shadowheart took 3rd, by the way, 0.86 million. But the overwhelming majority of players, 93%, chose to play as a custom avatar.
I mean, that makes sense for D&D.
Yeah.
And I'll say, like, as far as kisses go, Shadowheart has the most kisses. Astarion, second most kisses.
Yeah.
Minthara got the least amount, but I think that that's more representative of how difficult it is to get Minthara to join your party.
I mean, you've got to play. You've got to, if your first playthrough, you're playing as evil as is necessary to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody should be called to check on you.
And as somebody who looked it up, if you did the steps to get her as a good person, that's a lot of weird steps you have to go through, because you can get her as a good character, but you have to do a lot of weird things.
I'm looking forward to the evil playthrough, man. I think they're almost done with the patches. I think they've even fleshed out the evil stuff more. So waiting's been a good thing. The rest of the game will finally be released along with the rest.
The game's finally done.
They're beefing up like evil stuff, so that's great.
Only 15% chose Dark Urge, by the way, when they started. I don't think a lot of people understand what Dark Urge is anyway.
I think Dark Urge is their version of New Game Plus. Like, even though you can play it right from the jump, it's like
it does feel like that. Yeah.
It's like play the game again, but in a really messed up way.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But the idea hasn't appealed to me. Like, I sort of get why it would be good. It's related to probably Baal and the God of Murder and, that kind of shit. And that seems great. But I'm never like, I want to have interactions with people. I don't want them. It seems like it'll sidetrack your interactions with,
The other weird, not weird, but interesting data. Top class picks: Paladin, number 1, Sorcerer, Fighter.
That is weird.
It is a little weird to me. Ranger, Druid, Monk, and Wizard are kind of low down there. Bard.
Where's Bard on the list?
Right in the middle.
Greatest class in all of gaming.
Bard is 5th, 6th, almost right at the center there. Yeah, right next to Warlock. Warlock beat it though by a little bit.
You all don't know. Go roll a Bard in Baldur's Gate 3 and learn what it's like to play the greatest class in Dungeons and Dragons.
I think it is. They're also considered like really good in Final Fantasy. Like different implementations of the Bard idea are always really good, but I and others are always put off by the idea that there's like a singing violin player dude that you have to be.
That's why I invented. Nobody did it before me. That's not true. The talking Bard.
Oh right, yeah. Your take on that was pretty great. Right, that's one way to do it if your DM will allow it, or. Yeah, your DM. I almost said GM.
I mean, there's an argument to be made, but this is true of all bards, that's just, a skill rogue, right? Like, but, you can carve out space for it.
Sure.
We made it magic, and we made it, I think there's also there's an argument to be made to make it bard. There really isn't at least in 5e, probably not in D&D, a space for this, so... Yeah.
As far as race picks go, elves and half elves had a moment here. They were the top 2 picks. Human in 3rd, tiefling, drow, dragonborn, half orc. I can't read that one. Oh, Githyanki or whatever the hell your stupid ugly snakebite lady is. Dwarf, gnome.
Race of people, dude.
I've offended an entire race of fake people. I've just done it. Dwarf, gnome, and then halfling. So the little tiny race is way at the end, as they should be. I'm
surprised there are more gnomes than halflings.
Yeah?
Yeah. That is weird.
And I hate to give him his flowers, but Crofton plays a halfling.
Give him his flowers.
It's very impressive. Well, because it's very non-mainstream, right?
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
You're going to play a fantasy game, or are you going to be an elf? Like everybody else? Oh, I'm an elf. Look at me and my full-grown nose.
Yeah. Fantastic.
These stats were really interesting though, because one of them, light spoilers for the Dark Urge playthrough, was the at least 377,000 Dark Urges figured out a way to spare Alfira and are now directly to blame for the proliferation of loot rock. I did not know there was a way to save her. I thought she was a mandatory death. Because I did not. I was trying not to kill her, and she still died.
Who is it again?
Alfira, the bard.
Alfira, yeah. Well, I expect all bards to die.
I think mine was alive in Act 3. I think mine lived.
Was it? Did you do a Dark Urge playthrough?
No, but it was not a Dark Urge.
Yeah, no, she lives no problem if it's not Dark Urge.
Oh, okay.
Dark Urge, she's in a bad way. You're going for her no matter what.
Damn, dude.
Okay. That's why it's hard to want to play Dark Urge. So I'm like, I don't want to hurt Alfira. She's great.
She's great. I loved her as a character.
As a bard, I'm like, oh no, it's my kin. This is my kin.
And I was a little worried because, like, I really liked her my first playthrough. She made it through the whole game, and I was like, oh, she's a great character. Another bard, awesome. And then I was like, I wonder if she was ever like a possible party joining character, because she stands out. There's no other bards that join you. I played the Dark Urge playthrough, and she offers to join your party. And I was like, oh my gosh, I found a secret unlockable character is what I thought initially. And then I thought, wait a minute, something's suspicious about this. And then things went real south from there.
You guys never finished those Dark Urge runs, though, right?
No, I haven't. I'm doing it again. I started playing Baldur's Gate 3 again because people were talking about it in our Discord. So, ironically, it's the person who always complains that we talk about it too much brought it up again, and now I'm playing it again and talking about it again because of them.
I know who you mean.
When you get annoyed about it, just remember you did this to yourself.
Yeah, take that. I can picture his avatar. I'm not going to say his name.
I think the surprising thing for me was God Gales. I was like, oh, Gale can become a god, because mine obviously didn't.
My Gale was not. I didn't finish my run, but he is nowhere near godhood. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't die. He lives and just has a normal, life after. I was like, oh, we could have made him a god. That's crazy.
Mine's life.
Actually, the more I read some of these, the more I'm like, I had no idea you could do that.
Yeah. My experience is that he's taken good care of camp while I'm gone, and I appreciate him for it. Let's talk about this. Gameinformer, 33 years as a magazine. Okay, long time. GameStop owns them, or has owned them for a good long time. Shuttered the whole thing. Done. Their official Twitter offered a big, genuine goodbye. The Gameinformer's Twitter account has been deleted within minutes of the post. Now, former editor-in-chief Matt Miller has taken to Twitter to share his own official goodbye message. 33 years is a long time, he says. When thinking about saying goodbye to Gameinformer, I feel that a few days of consideration were warranted to get my thoughts in order. He goes on to have what seems to be a heartfelt goodbye. They decided that was no longer a thing. So 33 years later, no more Gameinformer. Hell, what are GameStop employees going to try to upsell me on now, John, when I go in there?
Yeah. Now they just got to try and get you to pre-order stuff.
Pre-order.
Where's the other tracking metric? How are they going to know those minimum wage workers are earning their minimum wage if they can't track subs?
Yeah.
I have a complicated history with Gameinformer as a result of what Scott just alluded to. It's not fun to work at a job where pushing a magazine subscription is a metric by which you're judged on if you're doing a good job or not. Mm-hmm. So there's a level of resentment for the magazine, but also a lot of love for the magazine. So let me tell you, one really good way to pad those sub numbers is to just sub yourself. Mm-hmm. And so I had a lot of Gameinformer. I had a subscription to Gameinformer for a long time, and I do think I can't sell it to you anymore. I do think it was a very good video game magazine.
Yeah, it was good.
And one of the best out there, and I really enjoy video game magazines to begin with. That's part of the reason why that was a version of Dear Martha for the longest time, is I just liked going back and looking at that stuff.
Yeah.
Like that, it's just fun to go back and look at how it was formatted and put together. And I'm extremely nostalgic for it. Like, I'm sad that these things can't exist, because getting those magazines in the mail, like, I still think they're really cool. Mm-hmm. Like, unfortunately, novelty isn't going to do the kind of numbers to justify printing them, but like Nintendo Power, Gameinformer, the weird ass paper that GamePro was printed on, like all that stuff, I'm like extremely nostalgic for, and I'm sad it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It was one of the last ones. These don't exist anymore, and I'm actually surprised it went as long as it did, to be honest, because the magazine business has not been profitable for anyone for quite a while. However, John, let's just test you as a former GameStop employee. What game was featured on the first issue in 1991?
Oh, geez.
Very first issue.
Very first issue of Gameinformer.
Yeah, and I'll give you a hint. It was a fall issue, 1991, and it was a very popular game character featured.
Was it Sonic the Hedgehog?
You are correct. Nicely done.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Yep. There it is. He's hanging out there. Let's see. Get another page going here. So this would have been, it's like Game Boy era. Oh, man. Remember the hot seat? NHL 94 or 91 on there. Let's see.
The Illuminator. Oh my gosh, I had an Illuminator for the Game Boy. What a piece of crap that was.
Yeah, it was
like
not
you
good.
needed it because you couldn't see the stupid thing, but then you had a bright light right over a reflective screen, so all you saw was a white orb shining in the screen. You still couldn't see the stupid thing.
Yep. And this was owned by Funko at the time. I don't know who that is. I guess they got bought by GameStop.
Yeah, well, Funko Land was one of the retail stores that would turn into GameStop. They acquired a lot of them, so it was GameStop, Babbage's, Software Etc., and Funko Land were all together. I originally worked at a Software Etc. They eventually rebranded, but that was what I worked at originally.
That's where I bought all my shit. I'd get pre-orders there or stay up all night to get a PlayStation or whatever. It's always Software Etc.
It's a stupid name, but I'm so fond of it that in my mind it's a good name. Yeah. Software Etc.
So
like
dumb.
I can step outside of myself long enough to go, that's not a great name, but I'm so fond of it because it was where I got my first job.
Sure. This is their website. They've pulled everything down except a farewell message. So end of an era. Kind of a bummer. What else? Borderlands movie is bad. Oh, if you want to hear us talk about this in greater detail, currently enjoying a 9% Rotten Tomatoes review.
It's skyrocketing up because it was 0 for a long time. It's been going up every time we check
debuted at 0, but the more reviews that come in, it's slowly getting some steam, but I don't think it'll ever crest 10. Anyway, we talked about it at length during pre-show. I think it looks bad, and I don't have any desire to see it in the theater, so probably not going to get that one done.
Yeah, this really isn't looking like one of those. Oh, but maybe most people didn't get it, and I'll watch it and like it.
No,
I think it's just going to be universally bad.
Yeah, the audience reviews are higher, but only 49%. That's still not great.
I mean, sometimes you go to the theater and make out with a partner.
Yeah.
Maybe it's good for that. You don't care if you miss the movie; it's fine.
Yeah.
My wife's reaction to hearing how bad it was to go, "Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis is in that movie." Honestly, I kind of feel the same way about it.
Yeah.
It's like
her and Cate Blanchett are awesome.
Yeah,
love them.
They don't deserve that.
I mean, I can deal. Oh, thanks, babe. I can deal with Kevin Hart. That's fine. Let him have a bad movie. But those two ladies I like a lot. What else we got here? Oh, Stop Killing Games EU thing is getting discussion. Beau, what is this? Did you put this in here?
Yeah, so it's been coming up on my YouTube feeds a lot. I don't know if it's been reported in like mainstream press that much, but there is a petition currently going on because, I think people have had their Ubisoft's The Crew removed from their libraries, I guess. Like they just killed the game.
Really? Just like removed from your libraries, like Steam or whatever?
Yeah, like it's not just that you can't buy it anymore. Like the Transformer stuff we sort of talk about a lot. It's gone. The game is gone. They killed the game. It's removed from your libraries if you own it. I'm pretty sure that's what the impetus for this is. I may have it wrong, but the Crew is gone. However, there is a Crew 2, and there are still other Crew entries, but the Crew Motorfest, like if I look on Steam, there's Crew 2. Crew Motorfest, but the Crew 1 is gone.
Weird.
Can't buy it. And so there is a petition currently going on that is to start. I'm not sure if it's a class action or just a lawsuit to prevent game publishers from just vanishing their games because they don't feel like us having them anymore. So it's like it has a little bit of its foot in games preservation, but also in consumer protection. Because when you buy something, it should be yours. And the fact that things are in a digital locker shouldn't actually change this. They have a duty to ensure the things we've purchased remain, particularly single-player games. Games that are online, there's conversations to be had, like should they release server binaries
Yeah.
Like if WoW ever is like, we don't offer it, we don't serve it, well, you still need to release the server binaries and let people run their own games. The thinking behind this is, in the US, you guys are probably just like, well, we're fucked. But other countries are a little more stringent. So this one, I think they're leaning on France's strong consumer protection laws in order to litigate in France. And the reason they do that is, like, for example, the reason why you have Steam refunds is because of Australia and consumer. Something getting passed in one country can affect things on a global scale, right? Even though, like, you don't have that protection because something happens in an important market that they want to keep people change, and so they're thinking, they're trying to get this pushed over. Right now, it's just in the form of a petition. I'm not quite sure where I land on this particularly, except like, yeah, if I buy something, I want to keep it as long as possible, or at least be given the option to download it so I can have it. Particularly with a single player game. Yeah.
Right.
This is another case where I would recommend, if this is something you're interested in, doing some deep dives into it, because it is slightly more complicated than, like on the surface, somebody saying like, hey, if you buy a video game, you should be allowed to play it. Like, I think most people would be like, yeah. But I know one person I've been watching talk a lot about this, and we've brought him up a lot on the show, is Pirate Software. Thor, he's been talking about it. He is a video game developer, been in the industry, and is very much against the way that they're going about doing this.
Yeah.
And he has had some interesting discussion and points as to where the problems are with it. And I think that, some of those are valid. Some of those, I think, like, I do think it's important. I think it's really shitty that I could have a PS4 that I uninstalled PT from, but had played it, and I can't re-download PT.
Yeah.
I think that sucks. And I think some of his points are that, like, well, it shouldn't be on them to necessarily provide that to you. And I kind of disagree. I kind of feel like it should be on somebody, if not, the publisher. It should be on someone.
Well, the case of PT, it's, it is preserved. You can get it in other ways now, but it was free. If you paid for something like The Crew and they freaking took it.
Yeah, I think removing things from people's hard drives and stuff like that is real. It's real skeevy. It's real bad. And I think there is a level of nuance to it. I definitely think, if somebody's doing game preservation for a game that's not otherwise available, I don't think there should be any legal recourse to stop somebody from doing that. If you can't, so like that's one of the big issues as well, is like, to use Beau's example, if World of Warcraft just shuttered completely and was completely gone, and somebody did a fan, private server for World of Warcraft, I don't think Blizzard should be allowed to take legal action if they're not providing a method to access that video game.
Yeah.
But it gets into, like, do you actually own a video game? Are you just licensing a video game? It gets into all of this messy stuff. It's way more complicated than what we can get into now. So, and even that's what I know from barely engaging with it. So it's worth looking into and
I did see a little bit of his argumentation, and he's a thoughtful guy. But like, yeah, I think he's overthinking it a little bit. It's, when it comes to consumer protection, it's just like the industry can deal with it. Like, we start with the consumer and see, have they been wronged? And there's all kinds of reasons why it could be a problem. I think the one that jumped out at me was, well, now he can write a hack program to make the service bad, forcing them to shut down the service. I was like, well, that doesn't change anything about the consumer protection, the rights of the consumer. Like, that's a them problem to deal with. It isn't a reason to not go forward with this, from my perspective. But again,
I tend to agree with that.
You're I feel like this is one of those, your views on it will vary depending, on how regulated your markets are and how used to those kinds of things you might be. So anyways, but it is like sort of this move. Like, I think we can all agree it's great when archive.org has like copies of old games you can't find anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, and maybe there's a future where maybe the game, they can sell off the games to companies who just keep these things on ice. Like we find a business model to like, to do that kind of stuff. Like there's solutions out there for this kind of stuff, but it does suck. I mean, to just have your games yoinked from you.
Oh, it's a big suck. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I've always really respected the way Steam handles it, where it's like, okay, we'll pull it from Steam, but if you own it, you can still download it. But not everybody can be Steam. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes for something like that. I know that I appreciate that. That's it's how I got to continue to play some Transformers games that are no longer up on Steam. But I paid for them and I still get to play them. And I think that's the way it should work.
Yeah.
The one thing I was going to say about this is if you're NA, because I looked into it, we can't sign the petition anyways. It's for EUs.
Yeah, it's not for us anyway.
So, there's not going to be any call to action on our part, and nothing for us to do here. But it is, there's a lot of buzz around this right now, I found this week. So
interesting. Well, we'll see how that all pans out.
I
agree with you guys. I think that if you own a thing, I prefer the way Steam does it. I realize that nothing is forever. All this stuff is ephemeral in some way, even if it means 10, 20 years from now, Gabe Newell's gone. Who runs Steam? How does it work? Do we have the same rights? Like, there's a lot of questions about the future. And I think that's the point, is we want to get to a better place where we can lock down what the future looks like instead of wondering what it'll be like. Like, we already know how it is for old games. It's already bad. So what are we doing to preserve, especially online stuff in the future? And I haven't heard good answers to that yet from the companies. So if they're not going to do it, we may have to get regulated. So.
And even on Steam, we did find a loophole where it doesn't work. That Marvel Heroes 20 whatever it was is a good example. You can't download that game anymore. And I played it. I put money into that game.
Yeah.
It is gone because technically it was a free to play game, so it was never added to a library. There's server costs and stuff involved, so there's definitely a question of who eats that, who maintains it. And, if somebody were to find a way to do a private server for that, I don't know how litigious, whoever could go after somebody, maybe Disney, would be for. So, I mean, there's a lot of like really, there is a complicated side to it. So even when I say like Steam does it right, they do it right for games you bought and owned, but there's a whole realm of free to play games. Path of Exile would be one.
Oh, good point.
You can probably spend a lot of money on Path of Exile, but if it were to, for some reason, go belly up, it would completely disappear because it's a free to play game.
Yeah, really, that's the great comparison.
Yeah, there probably should be an extra clause in there. All cosmetics are unlocked.
Something like that, right?
You're gonna run these live services somewhere, in a repository, and all things are unlocked. If you don't like it, well, pick it up with the.
If you don't like it, eat a poop. Yeah.
Eat a poop.
That's what I always. My final solution to everything is eat a poop.
That's what you always say.
We got an email here from Sam who says this. Oh, did I play our thing? I don't think I did.
That's a good question.
Here's what Sam says. Listening to Scott talk about Pal World on the Summer Game Fest stream. This was a while ago. I just realized why you are a latecomer to games. Unlike most people, if there's a controversy around the game, you can't just play the game and ignore the controversy. If you so much as mention that you're playing the game on a show, people from either side will jump in and try to drag you to their discussion. However, if you wait until after the controversy is blown over, you can just enjoy the game for what it is, and your coverage can reflect that. Maybe that's obvious to you already, but it just clicked with me as a listener. What do you think? Did I hit the nail on the head? Sam. P.S. Sign me up for 10 hams. All right.
Yeah. Well, if you want to sign up, it's 1-800-10-AMS. That's the number.
You can call him in.
I don't have a ton to add because I think he's dead right. I think that's exactly what I do. I think I don't want to.
Sounds pretty on the nose.
I can see it too because we're always very quick to, we poke a little fun at Scott for, waiting to jump in. But Scott, famously, he's the one getting the emails. every now and then he'll share one with us, good or bad.
Yeah.
I know there's a patron out there who does not like my Diablo 4 opinions. Sorry, they will continue.
Yeah.
Like every now and then something will break through where we get to see a little bit of that feedback, but mostly it goes to Scott.
Yeah.
And as a result, I think it's very easy for Beau and I to go, whatever, I played it. Scott's going to be the one that gets the emails.
Yeah. That's
so, did you get emails from last week?
The blowback isn't very big for us.
We definitely had to send Beau your emails last week. Did I get any? I didn't see any.
No, in fact. So that surprised me. I thought we'd have more on that front than we did.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good. I was happy to see that.
You know, there's a part of me that's always like, hour 3 of the show is the safer hour to start getting a little heated, right? If you do it in the top 30 minutes, it's just how all media works, right? Like I find, you know, everyone watches the watch minutes watch is always higher at the start of the video podcast than the tail end, right?
Right.
Because only the real core heroes stay to the end.
And
don't require being blackmailed or enticed with contest prize.
Oh right, we still have a contest
heroes.
Prize reveal coming up.
That's
right.
right.
Homelander's lines. I just watched it. I didn't mean to do that. You're the real heroes.
You're the real hero.
Oh, Homelander.
But yeah, so you know, I figure we're safer in the tail end than we are in the beginning.
Oh, for sure. I think that's absolutely true. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Speaking of which,
also, wait, before we move on, there's a rule that we need to share with people too. It's usually the thing that you least expect that you get the emails on about.
Oh, I know.
That is true. Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to start talking about Donald Trump, and oh boy, here come the emails.
Mm-hmm.
And the emails are about what you ate for dinner.
Chewed into the microphone.
You know, it's never what you think it's going to be either, so it's hard to predict sometimes.
It's like, I called Overwatch 2 the worst video game, the game I genuinely don't like, and someone's like, maybe John shouldn't talk about Diablo.
Yeah. It's like, wait.
What?
It's like I barely mentioned Diablo this week. Yeah, there's no predicting it. I don't know why that works that way, but you know.
I mean, you know, I think there's some things we probably could say, but for the most part, no.
Sure. Well, here's our special sounder.
It's fine. If it's on YouTube, it's engagement. And
that's
therefore
right.
It's good.
It's content.
I would encourage, like, you know, if you want to talk to me about it, there are plenty of ways to reach me. Yeah. Feel free. I will be happy to tell you why I'm going to continue talking about Diablo in a negative manner.
Scott and is on Twitter, and the best place to reach John is on Instagram.
Yep. You'll find me.
Yep.
Best place to reach me is on I'm on Snapchat.
There you go.
I still think the last thing I posted on Instagram is a happy 2020 picture that I took. And boy, did that year suck ass too.
That's your slush account for.
Yeah, that's where all the hate should go. And yeah,
so you're getting ready, eh? Scott's getting primed for the departure. He's lifting off Twitter.
I'm off. I'm done.
Yeah. He's off.
I haven't posted really since May.
Nobody on Twitter knew the show got moved last week because Scott didn't even go on Twitter to say we moved the show.
I basically got on there and just said, if you care about my archive, hurry up because I'm going to try to delete it. It actually got really weird. It says it's deleted when I'm logged in, but when you go in there with a browser you're not logged in, it shows a bunch of my stuff still. I don't trust anything about that website anymore.
It's weird.
It's really weird, but I downloaded my archive. It's all good. Ironically, the archive is full of Twitter non-X names. So the file name with the 8 gig zip is Twitter_something.zip. And then when you undo it and then go open it in like an HTML local page, it's all Twitter logos, Twitter terminology. They didn't even bother to go put all that extra shit in there.
Great job.
I don't blame you. I will tell you. I said that I was going to wait till I knew where the party was moving to before I moved. I still am not moving over there. I'm not tweeting or posting anywhere else, but I hope that Blue Sky ultimately wins, unless it's something new, because I'll tell you, I still think the Threads app sucks.
I mean, it's... I get way more engagement there. So right now, Threads is kind of my jam.
I've got a much bigger following and follow list on Threads, but I think Blue Sky is actually a decent app. Yeah. I think Threads still kind of sucks.
I kind of agree. It's a better... Blue Sky's a better app. There's no doubt about that. Will Threads make it better? Maybe they won't. But right now, it seems like the refugee point for most of my mutuals.
Yeah,
I feel like the algorithm though on Threads does a really good job of like really trying to get me to engage on the not the for you or the for you, not the following.
Oh right, yeah.
Following is just Scott and Brian Ibbett for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. There's also a real depressing. Like I'm annoyed that it starts on the for you recommendations, but then when you hit the following, you're like, I know 3 people that are posting regularly over here.
It's like taking a shower and every post is suddenly amazing. You're just
yeah. It's a little weird, but if you
I go over and they're like, it's just the most trolly things ever. Like on that, people like posting like they don't know the answers to things.
Oh, I know. Like basically. I hate that.
Like
I hate that.
It's just like come on. It was a Google search away. You're like, doesn't the actor who plays Frodo look like look like Jimmy Carrey? And you're like, everyone's like, no, it's like, oh my god, like,
yeah, some of this stuff's pretty baity. So here's the thing: if you want to talk to me like a normal human, I'm on Threads a lot as actual Scott. If you want to complain at me, head on over to twitter.com/Scott Johnson, and you'll get as much engagement.
Just throw it out there into the ether.
You're gonna love it.
I'll say this, just to bring it back around to criticism. I am more than happy to hear criticism, but I do need to hear it in good faith. It's why when we had the gentleman who worked for, was it CNN, the reporter?
Oh, yes, it was CNN. I think
when
it was.
When he got annoyed at something we said, and he told us, it was so nice. It's the happiest I've ever been to be criticized in my life. He told us what we said. Yeah. He told us why he didn't like it. Yeah. He provided timestamps on when we said it. It was the most efficient, like, slap on the wrist I've ever received, and boy, was it beautiful.
Yeah,
it was CBS, not CNN.
Was it CBS?
Oh, was it CBS?
I could be wrong too, but I think it was CBS.
Oh wait, it wasn't.
Anyway.
It wasn't Dan, was it? Dan?
Yeah, I think so.
It was Dan.
Oh, was it Dan? Okay, yeah, it was CBS at the time. Yeah. I think.
But no, because you worked with him on some VR stuff. Some interviews.
Yeah, he's great. He's one of my favorite people.
He's great. I like him.
But he's a journalist. Like everyone
thinks
every streamer and personality thinks they're a journalist.
Yeah.
But then you actually like encounter one, and it's like, oh, they have to like
it's
great care proving what they've said is correct and worded properly.
And it wasn't anything official. He's just doing his due diligence, and I thought it was great. I was so happy. I was like, why can't everybody do this? Because usually people are just like, why did John say he hates World of Warcraft? It's like, I didn't.
Yeah.
It's
actually
not in
say
there.
that.
You won't find it. You're just inventing things to get mad at me about.
Yep. That is the modern internet, though.
Why do you hate Overwatch, John?
Yeah, what's your deal with Overwatch?
Because they put a 2 on it and lied about what it was going to be.
Damn it.
And found a way to get a bunch of money out of people.
He's got a good
release
point.
Almost the exact same product.
My wife and my husband both work for Overwatch. I won't take you slandering their workplace.
I think it's a bad game, and I think if you want to encourage good game design, you shouldn't give them money.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Oh, I'm Ash says you're not invited to our dinner. So Bob didn't say anything, but I'm sure he agrees.
He would agree with you. Bob would agree.
Also, I'm sick of pushing payloads, but if they ever want to do something different with Overwatch, I will be in line as long as it's not. Oh, that wasn't in our news today. But did you guys saw that news story that they are trying to put together a bunch of what they're calling AA projects using Blizzard IP? Did you guys see that news story?
Oh my God,
I got tagged in that a lot because it falls under the make the game
I forgot about that.
I get on
I missed it. I didn't even know about it. That's news.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Holy shit. Thank you, John, for remembering that. No, who said it, though? Is it like Microsoft's like, yo, you got to launch some shit?
I think Microsoft
it could be like an initiative coming from that direction. But
it's like an initiative to launch like what they call like
Microsoft creates a small team to pump out AA titles of Blizzard franchises. So this is this is potential. It could be awesome. It could be terrible. I strongly believe Blizzard needs to do more with its IP. It has very strong IP, and they don't do anything with it except build up things that kind of have been falling flat lately. honestly. So I think they need to do more. Now, if this is, Zergling Crush, a hot mobile game where you combine different types of Zerglings together.
Zergling Crush.
I'm not
Baneling
interested.
Crush.
No.
Baneling
sorry.
Crush. Yeah, Baneling Crush, yes, for sure. That'd be more satisfying to crush Banelings, I think.
Well, they'd be a part of it, right? Like, some
you
would be
upgrade to
Zerglings, some would be
right.
Banelings. Yeah.
Okay. Zergling
I have
Crush.
no interest in that. But I think that, like, strengthening Blizzard IP, which is already strong, like, utilizing it, please, like, get some creativity out there. You can't just ride the coattails of what other people are doing, because right now that's what everybody else is doing to Blizzard. They're making games that are like, well, here's the Diablo style, Vampire Survivors game. That should be a Diablo game. They're making like, oh, we need a tactics game that's really awesome. That should be the next Overwatch.
Yeah.
Like, that's what all this stuff should be. I would be so excited if these are actually like good game experiences, not mobile trash. If it's mobile trash, then I take back.
Then you're out.
Go back to pretending you're a AAA developer again. But for right now, at least, this excites me because I think this is doing exactly what they should do.
Do you guys know that Mike Ybarra, I was searching for this stuff you guys are talking about, and I found an article on PC Gamer. Mike Ybarra is now CEO of one of those not gambling daily fantasy sports app things.
I did see that. That was another piece of news that got missed.
What's
I
it
knew
called?
there were like 3 news stories I wanted to do this week, but couldn't remember.
You gotta start
There it
writing
is.
them down.
It's called Prize Picks, and it's gambling, right?
I mean, we shouldn't laugh at somebody for their job, but yeah, it's pretty big demotion.
He's kind
You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty.
I mean, it might not be in the paycheck, in which case, like,
maybe this is a big up for him. I don't know.
I mean, it's like it is degen. It is degen game stuff for sure.
Oh,
like,
without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good luck over there.
But I mean, they have that influence at Blizzard. That's the worst part. Is like, obviously they have Blizzard quality, like that doesn't touch the devs, but like, they want to turn Overwatch and Heroes and all those other games into slot machines to milk money. And
yep. Milk money. I like a little milk money.
Milk money. Yeah, or freaking Diablo. Man, Diablo pisses me off with that stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty egregious.
You can't get cool gear. You have to buy the cool gear.
Here is the sound of someone winning something.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is also William Shatner freaking out about the planet. We have a winner for Tanner's very generous giving of a heroic edition of The War Within for World of Warcraft. The person that was chosen at random, you may know him in our Discord and stuff like that under the name Kazumi, but his name is James Cook, a.k.a. Kazumi in the chat and Discord. You are the winner of today's thing.
Wow, congratulations.
Whee! You won.
Thank you for hanging in for the entire 3-hour podcast to find out that it was you.
To be
That's
fair,
right.
I think Kazumi watches the whole show most of the time.
Or a bigger thank you for hanging in there the 3 hours to find out it wasn't you.
It wasn't. Yeah, those people,
Thank
hats
you to
off to
all
them.
the people who didn't win.
Is Kazumi in the chat? He might not even be in here.
You're the real winners, those of you who didn't win.
No, that's awesome. I'm stoked for him, and we're going to get that out to you right away. It'll come through Tanner in some form, but we'll reach out and contact if we have your info. So watch for that. More contests coming soon, and a note about some brand new patrons this week. Oh, man, this list just got big this week. I don't know what happened, but Sebastian, Christopher Hine, Casey Belrose, Starship Tech, Stephen Ledbetter, Kezcat, I think is right, Brandon Dacus, Thomas Bro, I love that name, and Christopher. Man, look at that. Look at that list. Brand new people.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it.
It's
I like
amazing.
that.
It's so great. Thank you.
It's so good.
I like that someone from the future, who's clearly a Starship technician, came back in time just to support the show.
Well, it's proof that time travel exists, and
Came back to save the whales and got left behind.
Yeah, the giant chocolate bar in the sky. You know,
He might be a big EVO Online player and really is a tech. And
it could be. Yeah, careful. There's people are screwy in that game. If I understand all the stories correctly. Anyway, that I love this list. It's great. And you know why it's great? Because now these same people are going to get no commercials or any of that kind of crap in their feed. They're going to get pre-show and post-show content every week, and they're going to get monthly benefits like video game art in the mail sent by me, host specials every month, something coming from John here soon. I put up a thing on
Borderlands movie review where none of us watched the movie but reviewed it today.
Yeah, we reviewed it in our pre-show without seeing it. So if that sounds compelling to you at home, sign up today at patreon.com/core show. And that is going to do it for today's show.
All right. Well, that was a real good jaunt today.
It was a doozy, Beau. I would call it a doozy. But we can't do anything if we don't let Grandma take the remote and remind us of the games that we supposedly talked about. Grandma, take it away.
I almost forgot, and I nearly closed the list. And there's games today I wouldn't have remembered, so that's good anyway.
Dodge that bullet.
All right, well, it's been 7.5 hours. Let's talk about games, I guess. They played World of Warcraft, Shapes with a Z2, Abathor, the game, not the small Zerg-like creature, Path of Exile, Domekeeper, Marvel Midnight Suns, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, also mentioned with Civilization 6. Noctuary, Galacticare, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Yakuza Kiwami, Overwatch, Tiny Tina's Wonder Shit, and some Heroes of the Storm. That's the video games.
Wonder Shit.
Good job, Grandma.
You're doing great.
100%.
Yeah, I don't think you're sundowning just yet. I think you got plenty more. You got meat in you. You got meat in you? That doesn't make sense. All right.
So you can't become a grandma unless you get a little meat in you at some point.
Okay.
No, you're right. You can't be anybody's grandma if you didn't have a little meat in you at one point or another, right?
Well, no, that's not what he was saying.
No, that is what I was saying. Scott
that's correct. Oh, was what you were saying? Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were... Okay.
You thought maybe she needs to subsist on protein-based diet of some sort, but I meant the other thing.
You have to eat meat. You don't subsist off meat.
Double entendre.
Yeah, it works both ways. Tandra-gosa. Well done, everybody. That's going to do it for us.
We're glad you still got...
Oh, you did. She did great. Style. She did great. We're proud of her. And we'll be back next week with more, everybody. So come on back. Join us next Thursday. 5 p.m. is our usual time. Mountain time. So come join us at frogpants.tv, and we'll see you then.
This show is part of the Frogpants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.
Holy Moses. Did we really do 4 hours, 9 minutes?